Chevrolet, baby. They are back with us. They've been with us for a long time. It's 2025. Chevrolet is our presenting sponsor. We are talking the Equinox EV, the 2025 Equinox EV LT. It's awesome. It offers the best in class 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. We're talking 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range may vary based on several factors. You go over to this link right now, type it into your little browser there, type it into your phone. It's Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Just look at this thing. Check out the product info. The lease offers the amazing deals. The Equinox EV is our go-to vehicle, Trent.
It is. It's great. Chevy is great. And so is this episode. We go through the TGL. We talk Trevor-Immelman. We have a little bit of a therapy session at the end. We also do closest to the pin. It's a very good episode. I'm very proud that Chevy is our sponsor. Go on their website. Check it out. Do different colors, different trims. You're going to find something you like. The Equinox EV. Start there. Chevy. It's 2025, and they're on the cutting edge.
It is a nice show. You know, we go a bunch of different topics. Like I said, they kind of take me to a little therapy school when it comes to the driving and being on camera with the golf swing. So we have a nice show for you today. And we got a nice vehicle that you need to check out. Accommodates comfortable seating up to 5 people. Roomy, no compromises interior, ample cargo room, convenient storage solutions. That is Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
It's not enough. Throwing the flag is like, what are you, Sean McVay? It's like, no, we want to boom, have a big old sound. Yeah, like when Shane was about to tee off and a flag landed at his feet. It was like, no, imagine he's about to swing and a huge gong goes off. That's what I'm talking about.
Fore-play, presented by Barstool Sports. It's our third attempt, so if it felt like there wasn't a lot of heart in that one, in that beginning of the show from me, it's our third attempt. We had a couple technical issues, but we are back. We got a big show brought to you by Chevy, our great friends at Chevrolet. I got the shirt on, this burnt orange one that I got when we went to the NASCAR race out here in Phoenix about a year and a half ago. And we love Chevy. We're going to talk about them. We got to talk first about the big show that we have. TGL. All right, TGL debuted. Everybody was all over Twitter, all the hot takes. We're going to talk about all of it, good, bad, ugly, pretty, all of it. We've got our great friend of the program, Trevor-Immelman, has been announced coming up in April. He will be the new chairman of the official World Golf Rankings. We've got Kevin Kisner, as Frankie just alerted us, has been announced the vice captain of the Ryder Cup team for the Team United States of America. We have Puma is suing Sunday Red for a breach of their logo, which I saw come across my radar. We've got Riviera is in danger. I've been following a lot of all these Palisades Fire, which is some of the craziest footage I've ever seen in my entire life. We're going to do a little closest to, and depending on timing, we're going to do a little from the gallery. But gentlemen, we're going to start with TGL. It was an absolute romping by the Bay Club, dusted New York. That wasn't really the main focus. The main focus was just, how is this thing going to go off? We've talked about it a ton over the last month and a half because we went down, we visited it, we saw the facility, and this thing was getting a lot of hype going into it. I think a lot of skepticism going into it. Tiger showed up, Rory showed up. It was fast paced. There was a shot clock. It was 2 hours on ESPN on a Tuesday night. And, you know, we can kind of go around the table here, but I think we all have our opinions on it, and we can have a nice open discussion about I think it's the TGL, by the way, stands for Tomorrow Golf League. Is that what it actually stands for?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was the Golf League.
It's funny. Like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, someone asked me what TGL meant, and I didn't know. So I went on their Wikipedia page, and at the time, it didn't have anything. The 3 letters stood for nothing. So, but I've been seeing a lot of Tomorrow Golf League, which that's a pretty good name.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. But anyways, night one. I don't know which one of you guys wants to go first, but a lot to talk about, a lot to break down, a lot to react
Take it away,
to.
Trent Daddy.
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed my time. It does move really quickly. Obviously, the complaints that we've had with other offshoots of golf, like the Showdown, where there's just a lot of dead time, and you know you're going from tee to the fairway, and you know these guys aren't Jerry Seinfeld. They're not entertainers. They're not great on camera. They're just really, really good at golf, and that's why they're put into these positions. TGL cuts all of that out. You hit into the screen for your drive, and then boom, the ball is there. The alternate shot was good. It moved at the beginning almost too quickly because they're trying to set it all up where they're throwing the rules at you and the lingo and, oh, wow, this technology is so cool. And like, you feel disoriented because you're learning all this new thing about all these new things about this golf league while also trying to watch Shane Lowry hit a putt. So it was a lot at first, but I thought once they got into a groove, it worked really well. It's a Tuesday night glorified simulator league, and I don't say that in a condescending way. I think that's a good thing. It's Tiger talked a lot about it in his interview during the broadcast, where he was like, "This is just a different thing." And Riggs has talked a lot about on this podcast where the TGL is additive. It's not trying to be real golf. It is golf in a facility where there's a huge screen and there's a rotating green. That's what it is. And if you take it at face value and you watch it on a Tuesday night when who knows what you would be watching otherwise, I think it's a pretty damn good product.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was a lot of fun. Obviously, a lot of hype going into it. We went there and we've said pretty plainly that it's probably going to be better if you're there than it is going to be on the broadcast. Like when we were there, we said there's no doubt that this is a great in-person venue. Like you get 6 of the best golfers on the planet all playing golf right in front of you like they're in a hockey rink where you can see every single one of them. You can see their facial expressions. You can hear them. You've got lights everywhere, music, drinks, food. That's a great experience. Like there's no doubt about that. How will it translate on TV? Obviously, it was different. I would agree that it was shocking how fast it was. It was going 10,000 miles an hour. Like you couldn't even get your feet like settled. You were constantly getting bombarded by things. Like as Nate Bargatze would say, let me get my head above water for a second. You know, he talks about reading books. He's like, they're just throwing words at you.
Throw
like,
a blank page in there.
Throw a blank page in there. Let me get my head above water for 1 second. And it kind of felt that way. And you know, it's opening night. So it's opening night of a new league with new rules. It's a whole new version of golf. There's a lot of good things to take away from it. It's fast paced. It's fun. It's visually, you know, appealing, I feel like, because it's just got all these colors and it's like the guys are moving around. There's a couple of negatives, or not negatives, but things that I took away where I'm like, all right, they might have to change some of this. And number one would be, I like the vibe that they're trying to go for in the venue where there's music and there's crowds. I do think golf has been guilty of getting fake crowds before. We've seen it at Ryder Cups and President's Cups, specifically the President's Cup. They will actually purchase like a group of actors to go onto the first tee and scream USA chants and, you know, international chants. And like it sticks out like a sore thumb. I thought last night was very evident of that. I think that they had some people there that were like hooting and hollering. At one point I heard a Bay Club like little chant with a little clap going on where it's like, that's not happening in reality. I think we saw right through that. If they got anyone on that, they're dumb and they're a moron watching that, where it's like, whoa, people already have chants for these teams that just got made up 10 seconds ago. No chance. I thought, here's my thing. It just felt like it was too much. Like, and this might sound like old man screaming at the cloud, but I don't think it is. It's like the format and what you're watching is already so different that I don't think you need to change it up that much. It can still just be as close to golf as you want it to be. It doesn't need to also be like at one point they played Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis as Matt Fitzpatrick was just hitting a golf ball into a screen. I don't know that really makes any sense. And I think that they need to make the shots feel a little bit more meaningful, because this is a league that needs to be sustainable year after year after year, match after match after match. If every match is going to have music and fake cheering and booing, and it's just like, that's not how sports work. It's not natural. Like, it can't be in your face like that. They need to go out there and just perform in the arena that they were put in. That's my opinion. Like Tiger Woods facing Rory McIlroy, there can be silence. Like, big shots need to be hit. He has like a 150-yard wedge shot. Let it feel like it's a 150-yard wedge shot over a bunker to a tightly tucked pin. And if Tiger Woods does it, then the crowd erupts. But like, it doesn't need to be this whole like, whoa, oh, like that all night. It was like a game show. And they're laughing and they're hooting and hollering. Like, the players are all kind of like, Matt Fitzpatrick hit a bad one. He laughed. He's like, he did like a little thing with his teeth. He's like, yeah. Like, you hit a bad one. Like, dude, like, your team is losing. Like, you should be like, opening night of the Yankees Red Sox, like, you know, David Ortiz would get a base. You don't say like Mark Teixeira back in the day being like, opening day. Like, it doesn't need to be this huge charade and circus. It can just be the golf that we know in this like really cool new environment and format.
I think the thing you're arguing for, though, would be exactly what you're also mad about, where you want these guys to almost fake that they're like at a Ryder Cup.
No, just like put them in situations, because, dude, it's impossible to feel like a shot means anything when you have like Snoop Dogg song just like blasting through the venue, and everyone's just like there's no dude at the end of the event when the match was over and it was like 9-1 Bay Area or the Bay Club, whatever, versus New York. That felt more real than the beginning. Like there was not as much music. All the crowd clearly was like they stopped faking it because dude, every single person in those suites were like mega rich, like
Steve
owners
Cohen
of teams. Steve Cohen was there. No one was screaming. It was all fake. Like, I mean, I saw like Melosi was there and like the Pointer Brothers were there. Maybe they were screaming. I don't think they were because like they took Instagram videos from their seats and everyone was just like quiet watching golf. I mean, like it wasn't as crazy as they tried to make it. I'm just saying like there needs to be moments where like it actually feels like they're trying to accomplish something for their team, not just put on a show. It's not a circus. It's not Cirque du Soleil.
It kind of is though.
Well, so I have a lot of opinions. I thought overall, the product was pretty damn good. I thought on a Tuesday night, for me, if I don't really have anything else going on, I'm absolutely going to watch it for sure. I'm not going to necessarily, if I got some buddies in town and there's a nice dinner, it's not going to be like a St. Louis Blues playoff game where I'll be like, nope, I need to be in front of my TV. But on a general Tuesday night, absolutely going to watch it. I think there's a ton of potential there. I think the number one issue is there's no competitive fire. And I don't think it's necessarily, I wouldn't, attribute that to the music or to that. I think that's the same thing we see in the match. It's the same reason Dave doesn't want to put celebrities in the creator event that we're going to do. And it's the same reason that it's really, really hard to recreate even with Liv, where if you can't tell that it matters life and death to the players who are at their core insanely competitive people already. Whenever they talk about the ping pong matches behind the scenes at the Ryder Cup, they talk about how one guy will nearly strangle the other because they don't want to lose so badly. When they play money games back home, if it's for $5 or a nickel or for $5,000, they are competitive, absolute savages. And for whatever reason, in all these little things that they do on the side, that just doesn't come out. And you're right, Frankie. It's like when one team was down 7-1 or whatever, and then the team that was down, the New York team was down by $1 million. They hit another bad shot, and it was a hit and giggle, and it was kind of laughing. And it's like, dude, imagine if the quarterback on the losing team who's down 35-0 in game 2 of the regular season was laughing on the sidelines. Every time that happens, it goes crazy viral because people are like, fuck this. I want to tune in to something where it matters. And I think that what people get really, I think that the wrong takeaway a lot of the time is like the players need to be funnier. That just needs to be more personality. And I just continue to go back to like what makes professional sports entertaining is the competitive nature of it. It is reality TV at the highest level because there truly is just a competitor against another competitor or a team against another team, and they actually want to win. Nobody knows the outcome until it actually occurs, and it's awesome to witness. It's not because they're fucking stand-up comedians. Go watch Nate Bargatze or something if you want to be purely entertained. Now, you could do, sure, little stuff, but like the Colin Morikawa clip from last weekend of him and his caddy for a minute straight talking about how he was going to hit a 56 degree instead of a 60 because he wants to skip it up the hill, and then he pulled it off and hit it, was fucking awesome. That's the type of like entertainment that you're most likely going to get. And competition is what's going to drive the actual intrigue from the fans, in my opinion. You can always kind of code it. You can always kind of, put a little bit of a charade over it with the banter. And Shane Lowry's a pretty funny guy, and Kiz is going to make it. He's going to have some viral clips. But at the end of the day, it's like Kiz standing up there for 2 hours with Shane Lowry mic'd up is more like a little clinic that you get at a simulator event in New York City or something, or Kiz's foundation event, than it is a true league and competition. Now, it's night fucking one. I think that's really hard to capture in any environment. I don't know that in year one of the PGA Tour back in the 60s or whatever it was, that like it felt that meaningful when they're playing the clam bake or whatever, because you have to build history and tradition and people have to care about it. So I don't think you could build that night one. But I always think that's the number one takeaway is like, if you truly had the New York team fucking pissed off and embarrassed that they're losing 9-2, then I think that's going to be much more entertaining than being like, oh, we need a funnier guy up there. And then that would just deliver. I think it's really hard to capture the competitive fire, like that compete level, that like if you're watching an NHL game on a random Wednesday night and one team's down 5-1, in the third period, like a fourth line guy will literally go beat the fuck out of somebody else on the other team because his whole team is so pissed off and he has to show some kind of heart. There's just no heart in it. And I think that's really hard to capture. I get that. But I really think it's going to struggle long term if guys don't like, it doesn't feel like they care about the result. And it didn't feel like they cared about the result last night.
Yeah, when we talked with like Wyndham and Billy Horschel and Ricky at TGL, there was a lot of like, you guys need to be the ones that make this cool, and you guys need to like bring it. And I think their takeaway was like, yeah, we're gonna really be like throwing a lot of banter at each other and like throwing in some digs. Where it's like, I almost wanted to say in those moments, like it really doesn't matter about that either. It's just about like actually wanting to win. And the situation that you're put in based off of all the technology and the format and what they have created will make it entertaining. That is like the thing that they're playing is the entertaining part. You don't then need to like put the circus around it even more. That's kind of what I meant about the fake fans screaming and like the intros and like all that stuff. Like it just needs to be like when I turn on Tuesday nights, it's a really fun event to watch. We've got the 6 best golfers that are currently playing on my TV when I'm lounging in bed, not doing anything else. I'm watching golf, and then they actually want to win. And I'm keeping track of like the Bay team has won 3 in a row because like they're just fucking awesome. Ludwig is making putts, and they're just they're an unstoppable force. That's what's going to end up drawing the most crowd and buzz and like real reactions. Because like if last night's a one and done, like last night felt like an all-star game of a league where it's like that's what like the music is just, it's constant. Like even you could have music at a hockey game. They have music in between each play while they're skating up to the thing. And then when the puck is dropped, it's like, who's going to score the next goal? It's dead silent. You hear everything on the crowd. When something cool happens, the crowd goes nuts. It needs to feel natural. And I think they've built something. I don't want the takeaway to be like I'm complaining about it too much. Like, I think they built something really cool. I enjoyed watching it yesterday.
Same.
I'm just trying to say, like, how is it going to be sustainable for, they have got, I don't know what, 20 matches this year. You're going to do that every single week. It's too much. It needs to be like when Tiger Woods is hitting, let it feel like Tiger Woods is about to hit a golf shot.
It's amazing.
And the blowout, I agree with what you guys are saying. Part of that. The blowout
was a big part of it.
Yeah,
it was.
Could have been. No, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think it might be a little different. Like it's just going to take time if it's going to get competitive. I was fine with all the song and dance. Like it's just such a different thing than what golf is normally, that like I'm fine with them really throwing the boomerang out there and being like, we're going to do crazy intros and the music. I agree with you. They don't have to do music during the shots. A lot of DMX during the Xander shots, but like
so much DMX.
I don't mind them being like, let's blow this thing out and then maybe come down to what we think is working. Like I like them like taking big swings. It's interesting. We always talk about like it's the same thing with the Tour Championship that we changed historically. Like, how do you make something interesting that is new, right? That's all these things that we find interesting. Hockey, golf, basketball, football, they've been around for almost 100 years. There's that baked in history. And we don't have anything really of recent note that is new and interesting and popular and competitive, except video games. That was my first thought of like, how did they create a world where these COD tournaments, and our guy Alex Bush can probably speak to it, where like this shit actually matters. And like, I know Jersey Jerry is a huge fan of it. Like, I'll watch him watch it on his phone being like, wow, this is really interesting. I don't know how they did it, but they seem to be the only new thing that people have gravitated towards that actually matters. And going back to TGL, I just don't know. I don't know how it's going to happen. There's just, what are they going to win if they win? Like, none of us know. If they win, whatever the end of the year thing is for TGL, what do they win? Nobody has any idea. And I think that's probably a problem too. But overall, watching it last night, I liked the big swings, because if you're going to do something different, if you're going to try something different, really try and make it different. And I think they accomplished that.
I agree. I think the shot clock was great. I'm with you that at the beginning it was too fast paced, as crazy as that is to say about golf. But if you look at a couple of our biggest sports in this country, if you look at football, you look at baseball, things crescendo, right? They have time to build up. Like a drive in football, they have a 7-play drive and get down to the red zone, and then it's 3rd and 7 or whatever. It's like there's 40 or 30 seconds while they're in the huddle of them setting the stage, and you can feel it, you can sense it. There's a big crescendo, and now it's time to watch because this is fucking huge. Same in baseball. When somebody's got a rally and they get going and they've got 2 men on and a big fucking the one of their sluggers in the plate, and it's like, all right, I've been building up to this for 2 straight innings. Now's the moment. Whatever. That it almost felt like you couldn't even build up to anything. It was like it was just going so quickly that there was no. It was like they were just hitting, and then they were rushing up to the green, and then they were hitting, and so I think a little bit they kind of started to space it out a little bit through the middle, and I thought that was done much better. But then, unfortunately, at that point, it was such a big lead for the Bay squad that like the shots didn't feel that important. I do think, if you get an environment where it's Tiger Woods has, a huge 10-foot putt to take the lead with only like 3 singles matches holes left, I think there's going to be more of the competitive stuff. And I don't want to say that you ignore all the other cool things that are going on and only focus on the competition, because I think that other stuff does matter. I thought just the visuals of the arena were fucking cool. Like when they would just pan to different angles and you could see the whole arena, all the lights lit up, how big the screen was. You could actually see the green rotating, and you could see the crew rolling up there as a threesome to like read the putt and help the guy out. Like all that was cool. You're watching, you watch Wyndham and like Shane, I thought a good amount of the time are like reading putts together, where it's like they're behind the damn hole in the logo that we've created for the Barstool Classic, like as a group reading a putt. That's cool. That's totally different, and I like all that stuff. It just felt, I agree, like they need to really focus on any changes and tweaks that they're going to make going forward of how they can get it to where it feels like the players really, really want to win. And again, I think the blowout was an unfortunate result of that. We had the same thing in the match a month or so ago where we all kind of agree there are certain elements of that no matter what weren't going to be as riveting. But if it comes down to the wire, I do think you're going to get these big moments where you can sense how much they care. But when they're down 6-0 and there's only 15 holes, it's like, all right, they're just pretty much not going to win, and it's hard to care on each shot. But overall, I'm with you. I thought it was pretty damn entertaining. I think a lot of people that were kind of bitching about it's always ironic, actually, to me, because it ain't like Thursday or Friday of a typical PGA Tour event is interesting at all. It's if you turn into that broadcast, which almost nobody does, it is so boring. And I think Saturday it can start to get entertaining for sure, depending on the leaderboard, depending on the course. And I think the back nine of pretty much any PGA Tour event, if you throw it on, is entertaining because winning matters. It matters so much to the people that are involved. And as the shots start to feel important, right? Like Thursday, no shot feels that important. Friday, no shot feels that important except when you get to the cut line. So an average PGA Tour broadcast on any given normal week is not more entertaining than that was last night. I really don't think that it was. So I think there's a ton of positives to take away from it. I think it's a incredible feat that they came up with this thing that is totally new and actually put it on last night pretty seamlessly. Like there were a couple of annoying parts that we didn't like, but it wasn't chaotic. There weren't balls that didn't register. There was maybe only one time where Ricky was like, there's no way that ball went right, where he was like doing which I thought was very relatable. We've all played simulator golf where you hit a tee shot that you're like, oh, I flushed that one. It's right or left. And you're like, there's no fucking way. This simulator's bullshit. I loved that out of Ricky actually on that one. But I feel like that only happened like one time. The chipping was pretty tricky around the greens. I thought they had all kinds of crazy putt. Ludwig is an absolute machine, that guy. I'm feeling really good about my DK future of him to win a major this year based upon the very relevant his performance in indoor simulator golf league. But yeah, I thought there were a ton of positives. And at the end of the day, we're going to try to focus and we're going to talk a lot more about kind of the negatives or the tweaks that we would like to make.
I like that it's 2 hours. That's a good window.
Yeah.
Knowing what it's going to be when it starts, I think is a big part of a sporting event. Like when you're going to watch, that was a problem with baseball forever. And then they fixed it with the pitch clock where you start a baseball game, you're like, this could be 5.5 hours. I have no idea. But with like hockey, basketball, football to a degree, like you just know what it's going to be. It's a 2.5 hour window or it's a 3 hour window. I like that, especially for golf when, like you said, when you're watching the PGA Tour, you're not sure like, all right, who's teeing off when? When's the broadcast going to start? When's it going to end? I thought 2 hours was a good window. And I tweeted this, but I think the hammer should be a gong. I don't like the flag. It's not enough. Throwing the flag is like, what are you, Sean McVay? It's like, no, we want to boom, have a big old sound. Yeah, like when Shane was about to tee off and a flag landed at his feet. It was like, no, imagine he's about to swing and a huge gong goes off. That's what I'm talking about.
The NFL too. I mean, try and turn it to the most extreme elimination at this point, where it's fucking hitting a big gong,
Be fun.
and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And then like Matthew Barry jumps up on his desk, and he's like, "The gong has been hit,
bro." It's ESPN the Ocho. Let's do it. Let's just
that. All right,
do it.
so that's where we have to. That's where we have to decide: is this ESPN the Ocho, or is this in 10 years a legitimate league?
I think it can be both.
Woods and Rory McIlroy, I think, are going to be the future of golf. Like if it's ESPN the Ocho, go all in. If it's actually trying to be a league, you got to have the flag and like make it feel a little bit more realistic. You know what I mean? Like I don't know,
but I think it's yeah. I think it can be both. I think you can still do a gong, but I know what you're saying.
I think it's got a really cool. I just there's such a difference between in person and on TV, and I think that's going to be their biggest struggle of figuring out how to keep it really entertaining and like really fast paced and really uppity when you're in the building, and then when you're watching it on the screen. Because dude, they got to remember we're just like laying down on the couch watching this thing. So when you've got all of this chaos happening, that's just, and I know that they're really not trying to grab us because we are the golf fanatics. We are golfers. They've already got us by having Ludwig facing off against Shane Lowry and all that. You know what I mean? Like that, to us is already going to get us to watch. You got Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, all these names, Kevin Kisner. We are going to watch. I think they're trying to get the people that don't know anything about golf that are just turning on ESPN at 9:00 on a Tuesday night. And I just think that like, just don't, and I could be wrong, but it's just like, don't stray away from what the actual game is as much as you can. Like try and keep the foundations of why these guys play the game and then put it in that outrageous arena with the fast pace and all the shit that's going on. That to me, I think is the best solution. It feels like we're nitpicking. I'm for sure nitpicking. It's like, it was enjoyable as hell. First event, everything went well. It was enjoyable as hell. I didn't love the music the whole entire time. That's my one takeaway. I thought it felt a little bit too cheesy. And I also think that if they're going to do like the intros, like golfers are nerds and kind of boring. You don't need to be having Ricky Fowler walking out with smoke around him. If that's an opening night thing, for sure. Like Yankees, Red Sox, opening day, they all come running out onto the sidelines. They announce every single player. They announce the equipment managers, the whole deal. And then game 47, there's no chance they're doing that. They announce the starting lineups on the screen, and then they just get the game going. If match 9 has like 9 p.m. happens, SVP, who was awesome to kick this thing off, by the way, Scott Van Pelt was incredible to kick this thing off. He's so genuine. He's so knowledgeable. He was really ready for it. He teed it up great. I thought the interviews in the hitting bays were awesome because it was like these guys were ready to go out and play. That's the thing that really turned me off, was like these guys are ready to go out and play. They're like these gladiators underneath the tunnel ready to go out into the Coliseum. And then they went out and there's like a little puff of smoke and they had New York playing, more smoke. And they're all just kind of,
you gotta smoke that shit out.
They're kind of like slapping each other's ass. And that one face from Matt Fitzpatrick when he missed the green went, nah. It was just like, we don't need any of that, bro. Like we need like real just, I mean, I could be wrong because Alex like watches the Call of Duty things and they sell out like Madison Square Garden and all the lights are crazy. It looks like TGL and they've got 18,000 people all watching this Call of Duty event.
Video games by their nature, digital. Golf's like on grass.
No, but I'm saying like, and then like when the actual match is happening, it's like the lights kind of dim down and like everyone's kind of watching them play this map.
Like an NHL
and it's like
game,
my favorite guy is like about to just like, clear out this map and this team's about to win. And then when he hits that final guy and they get that final elimination, it's like chaos ensues where that buildup. I could be wrong, Alex. Maybe that it is more of like a circus, but
no, I was going to say, I felt like they're trying to get that audience as well. I had ton of my buddies who I play video games with that aren't golf guys that were texting me saying it's electric and all that stuff. And that's kind of the atmosphere you get at a gaming tournament or major or whatever, is that intro walkout, all the lights and the craziness and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're not, we might just be aging out of what people want.
We should be. We should be, really. I mean, because they've like you also go back to like the point that they've already got us. So they don't need to sell us on any other thing. They're trying to sell a whole new audience. But I do think from the clips that I have seen, even the gaming like live events does get a little bit more serious. And I know that they have like the heartbeat and all of it. And that is cool. Like the music kind of stops. It gets quiet. A big putt has to come. The heartbeat comes in. It's event number 1. we were on a show talking about our takes on the world of golf. This happened last night. We're going to nitpick certain things. I think if you're an executive of the TGL and you're listening to this thing, there's a lot of amazing things you can take away from it. I think it was a success day one. I really do. I just want this thing to survive. I want it to be, we wanted Liv to be this. And I was always on the Liv side of being like, dude, being able to check the newspaper the next day and see that this team is over this team. That to me is what golf needs. It needs sport. It needs competition. It needs league feeling. This is leaning towards it. I want something like this to succeed. You know, I just want it to really feel like I'm texting my dad being like, New York's playing Boston tomorrow. Are we ever going to get to that point in this? I hope we do. That's what they want, Trent. Like you're
I know
you're
they
like,
do.
I don't know if we're going to get to that point. I hope we do. Like, I want to be able to text or watch with my future kid. Like, dude, like New York is the champion of the TGL. Like, 3 of the last 10 years.
Curious.
If we're not hoping for that, what are we doing?
I'm not hoping for it. I'm just like looking at it like there is a potential here, and I guess we'll look at the ratings, but who knows what those means. But like Alex is saying, and kind of like what you were saying, where this might be a league where kids will grab onto it because they know nothing else. We know so much. We've been on this earth for 3 decades. We know like, oh, this is how golf usually is. This is what, but it might grab that audience where it's like everything's moving fast. There's flashing lights. There's going to be a gong sound eventually, hopefully. And like, but like, you know what I mean? Like you're right. They have us, and I'm going to watch even these little things that we're nitpicking. I'm still going to watch, but it might grab an audience where it's like, there's kids out there who are just the Bay fans. I could be completely wrong and it might not work, but I think there's something to it where if you balance it with what I'm saying and then also with what you're saying, I think it can fucking work.
Yeah, I really hope so. I'm rooting for it to work. I am.
Me too.
I thought it was fun. There's nothing else aside from Surviving Barstool, which was incredible, by the way.
Good.
Just
it's
the
so
best.
And a great
there's
example
nothing else to watch.
Of what we're talking about too. I agree. Like the Surviving Barstool episodes, when someone gets eliminated that wasn't that into the game, it's just not that big of a deal. When someone gets eliminated that is like emotional and fucking pissed and they were playing the game to win and they cared, it's like so and
it's hard
good.
to do in episode 1. I mean, game 1.
Yep.
I'm acting like, this is game 7 of the World Series. It's game 1 of the TGL League in Jupiter, Florida. It's never going to feel that intense. I just thought there was a couple things that set them up for failure for like the competition, and they got boat race. So it's like, of course, it's going to be a hit and giggle. Like they lost on the 9th hole. The game was over.
They got killed. Yeah.
Right. No, I agree. I think we all, largely agree. I think the conversation that the two of you are having it's a big thing of what they internally struggle with, of that balance between like keeping the competition, the integrity of the competition, whatever you want to call it, kind of like pure, so that they are at the end of the day just doing what they do best and trying to win, but also bringing all of the excitement and the bells and whistles that make it different and make it new and make it this engineering feat and this futuristic technological league. Like marrying all that is very hard to do. And I also think because of the blowout, they probably had to rely more on some of the other stuff to try to like church up the broadcast, like DJ Khaled and all these people that they're bringing on, because they're like, dude, it's over. It was over with 45 minutes left of the broadcast. It's like over. So I think they're in a little bit of a tough spot. And I think we all at first were like, I can't believe Tiger Woods isn't playing the first night. I think it might end up being kind of smart because there's like some anticipation of like, all right, we got to see what this is. We went through the learning curve. They told us the rules. They told us like what up is and what down is and what left is and what right is. And we got all that stuff down. And now they're going to bring us Tiger Woods in week 2 and like Kevin Kisner. And it'll be, hopefully there's this anticipatory excitement for week 2 and they kind of keep going with the momentum. But I think I'm with both of you in that I'm rooting for the damn thing to succeed. Going into it, it's interesting. Like almost everyone had the same take going into it, which was like, oh, anyone that's seen it in person has said it's awesome. We were there. We saw it in person. It is awesome. We just hope it translates on TV. And I thought it actually did a pretty damn good job of that. In order to sustain itself, I think we agree there's got to be a true league feel to it where you care a lot. And maybe it just didn't come through because of the blowout, which we've said a bunch of times. But like you want the New York guys to be pissed off and embarrassed that they got absolutely dusted. And you want the other guys to be like jacked up that they're now 1-0 in the history of the league and they've got this lead in the stand. Like that stuff should matter. and it doesn't happen overnight. So I thought overall pretty goddamn big success for night one.
And those huge LED screens that like sometimes they'll show the view behind the player hitting into the screen. They have the huge screens. Those screens are chaos, man. Like if you looked and you tried to find any sort of like relevant information for that shot, it was impossible. You like wanted to puke. They have like all logo skews all over the place. Like the New York Golf Club was everywhere. And then like a little sliver of this like, you know, skyscraper tall LED screen said hole 8 and then like how far they were from the hole. Dude, it needs to be simple. You got these two huge screens, just throw the hole number, how far they are from it. And then also the craziest thing that they didn't do was they didn't show the distance that the ball was traveling. They didn't show the yardage of the golf ball. So like they would hit a drive and they would just show this
give us a number at the bottom
tracer,
that's going up.
Or those two LED screens should show it going up like in huge numbers. Like, you know, just like a full swing would do on your yeah.
Something.
That was crazy to not know how far these guys were hitting the ball. Because at the very end, they'd be like, that one went 360. And like you had to try and find it on that huge screen. Or Matthew Barry would say it. Whatever. There's a lot of things that they can do. If my last takeaway would be just take 2 steps back. Like just slow it down just a little bit. Let's just 2 notches down on the chaos meter.
I think it'll go down because last night was opening night. I think it'll be hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
last thing we got to talk about that front are the holes. What do we think about the golf holes?
Cool.
They were cool. I thought the like the outrageous ones were cool. I didn't necessarily like love or hate it. Like it was just like it wasn't as impactful to me as I thought it would be. Where it was just like, yeah, they're just kind of playing the hole. You know what I mean? I don't know that it was like, I can't believe they're playing on 2 triangles. I don't know if it's because it's like in the digital world, but something about it didn't. I didn't gravitate towards like, is it going to fall off this cubicle, like this cube ledge or something? Like there was nothing. It was cool though. It was cool. I think the possibilities are insane. Do I want to see them like hit through Times Square one day? No. Like I don't want it to turn into a circus, but they're hitting to a screen, so it doesn't really matter, I guess.
How about that mic in that hole?
That mic in that hole, man. They have that on. All right, I want to take the knob down a little bit on the chaos. Keep that knob at 100. Bro, the audio inside that hole is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, it was.
Dude, I think Wyndham at one point tapped one in from like the edge of the hole, and it sounded like a bomb went off. It was awesome.
I love
that part. They nailed it. Really good. Like camera work, announcing, just everything. Like to nail that on night 1 where nothing was like, nothing broke. The fucking green kept rotating and nothing was broken is huge for the league because it went off without a hitch. They have a winner, you have a loser. We're going on to week 2. They have all their takes now that they're able to see, and that they're, they are receptive to feedback. Like they came up to us, they're like, let us know what you think. Like we want you guys to be involved in letting us know, like, do you like it? Do you not like it? We talked to the director, we talked to producers. They're like, we're listening. We want to know. It's not just us too. It's other brands. It's people on Twitter. They're taking it in. They want this to succeed. They'll listen to Alex saying his friends all thought it was like dope and electric or whatever he's saying and whatever the kids are saying, and they're going to move forward. Tiger Woods plays next week. That's huge. And we'll just see how it goes.
Agreed.
It's the start of a brand new year, and it is the perfect time to get organized. That's what we're talking about. Organization, set some goals. We're going to cover that at the end of the show. Our goals, we go over a big one and prioritize what matters most. For me, a top priority is financial wellness, which feels more important than ever right now in these times. Thanks to Rocket Money, our goals feel quite achievable. They show me all my subscriptions right in one place, help me easily cancel ones that I forgot I've been paying for. Rocket Money, if you don't know, is a personal finance app. It helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot on the last couple of podcasts about how I've started cooking more, making my food at home.
Chef
and
Trent.
Rocket Money is actually involved in that because you can use that as a financial tool and see where you're spending a lot of your money. Not going to shock anybody, but the last year, a lot of my money was spent on ordering food and having it delivered to me every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. That adds up, and Rocket Money shows you that. So boom, a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, I'm just going to cook more from home and save the money. So Rocket Money led me to that conclusion. It does the subscriber thing where it'll take away unwanted subscriptions, but as a financial tool, it will break everything down where you're spending the money, where you can cut back. That is why I love Rocket Money.
How about these guys at Rocket Money? They'll even negotiate lower bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service, so you do not have to. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/4 today. That is rocketmoney.com/FORE, rocketmoney.com/4. For us, golf is simple. Everybody knows that. It's a chance to get out there, have some fun with our friends. That's what we try to do. We try to showcase that golf is more than just some grindy competitive sport. Yes, we all like to play well. We like to have good matches. But more than anything, we like to be out there and have ourselves a blast. And Fireball is going to help you do that. Golf has all kinds of ways of ruining that experience. It could be the group in front of you, the group behind you. It could be weather. It could be the way that you're playing. It could be someone in your group. It could be all kinds of different stuff that can just get irritable out there. It's a frustrating game. Take a little Fireball, throw back some of the nips, and enjoy yourself out there.
Yeah, I want 2025 to be the year of fun golf for everybody. Playing well, that'll make it more fun. Lowering the scores, that'll make it more fun. But yeah, if you're having a rough day out there, like Riggs is alluding to, and you just don't have it, but you still want to have fun, Fireball. Get some Fireball in the mix. These little 50 milliliter shooters, bang, you pop them back, you and your buddies, and now you're having fun again. So Fireball is going to heavily contribute to 2025, the year of fun golf. You just got to take it out there and have fun with it.
Fireball is iconic. Cinnamon, flavor, taste, fire goes down easy, making it the ultimate crowd pleaser. If you're really feeling like upping the ante on the course this year, this weekend, next week, on a trip, wherever you might live, maybe it's warm right now, like in Arizona or in Jupiter, Florida, make sure you grab the new Fireball Birdie Shot Club. It is literally a golf club filled with Fireball nips. Fireball 50 milliliter shooters, their perfect shot for the golf course. Speaking of Tiger Woods, Puma is officially suing Sunday Red, and they are claiming that due to this is a quote in the lawsuit, due to the confusing similarity of the marks and the legally identical or closely related nature of the goods and services of the parties, consumer confusion is likely between the challenge marks and the Leaping Cat logo, essentially claiming that people can confuse Puma and Sunday Red. I've kind of got this. Yep. I think we're all kind of familiar enough. But are these two confusing to you guys to know which one's which?
I mean, I'm no lawyer, so I don't know what the grounds are exactly, but my gut says no.
Tigers and pumas are similar animals. So at the end of the day, they could make the argument that quite literally is a leaping tiger, and that literally is a leaping puma. So I would just win this debate in a fucking court and be like, no, ours is a tiger.
And they're jumping in different directions.
Ours is a tiger.
They're going in different
Case
directions.
closed. Hit that hammer.
Get the gong out.
Hey, yours is too similar. No. Ours is a tiger.
Why would they do this?
I thought it was kind of a great. They must be seeing some sort of sales decline or something that's because to open this can of worms to go sue. I mean, all the headlines are not going to be good. Puma's suing basically Tiger Woods is kind of what it sounds like. And
right.
You're like, well, why the fuck are you going after Tiger Woods? That's not a good idea in the world of golf. So I thought that part was a little bit crazy. We're not lawyers on this show. I'm sure it'll work itself out. We don't have a ton of legal background between the three of us. So I just thought that was kind of interesting and something of note that is going on.
I don't think it's close.
Trevor-Immelman, great friend of the program, one of our good friends in the world of golf, Masters champion from 2008, captain of the International President's Cup team. He is the lead analyst in the world of golf for CBS. Sits right up there with Jim Nantz, and he's now the official World Golf Rankings chairman starting in April. He's only the third one since 2004 to hold that title. The World Rankings, of course, have been under a lot of scrutiny over the last couple of years. Liv-golf, famously around this time last year, I think, was at their height of lobbying, trying to get world rankings for their events that never really got approved. I looked up just some notables in the official World Golf Rankings from Liv, Bryson DeChambeau is ranked 10th in the official world golf rankings. John Rahm is ranked 26th. Joaquin Neiman is ranked 71st. And Brooks Koepka is ranked 96th. So, just my quick instinct, and I think anyone realizes, like, Bryson's probably better than 10th. He won the U.S. Open. He nearly won the PGA Championship. John Rahm, I don't think there's 25 guys in the world of golf that I would put ahead of John Rahm. And then Joaquin Neiman is 71st. Brooks Koepka, like I said, 96th. So just that very nature of its own, I think people realize there's some flaw in the official world golf rankings.
Trevor's the man. There's no better guy for this role. I don't know what the role entails. I feel like this has always been kind of like behind closed doors, wearing cloaks, like, sacrificing lambs type situation. Like I have the weirdest just visual of what the official world golf rankings room looks like. Have you guys seen Loki? Like, to me, it's like that room where all those like the leaders are. Like, to me, that's what it is. Like, you know what I mean? They're like robots, like animatronic.
Yes. I just picture him. My visual is it's coding. It's a website where they just go in, they put on glasses, and they code the back end of a website. I have no idea what the World Golf Rankings does.
There's something's getting sacrificed for sure. There's blood on the table, but I'm not saying that that's why Trevor is the perfect guy for this role. I'm saying that Trevor-Immelman is perfect for this because he is just a common sense like voice in golf. It feels like he's a young voice. He knows the game the way that like it feels like the normal person knows the game. And for him to be at the helm of something so important to these professional golfers, I think this is a huge win for golfers everywhere. Professional golfers, for us, doesn't matter. But for
I agree.
Pro golfers, it's a massive win. It's a guy that's like one of them that is like really looking after this thing. And I don't know what that's going to mean. I don't know if he's going to be an advocate for live guys or not getting in there. I don't know what his answer is going to be, but I do know he'll work with like common sense. I think. I would hope.
I think so too. I think Trevor's an incredibly reasonable, like fair man, and always has been. He's liked by all sides. CBS is like in bed with anyone on earth as much as you possibly could be with the PGA Tour. So it's like, I don't know. This is very,
a fair point.
They're putting a guy that's the chairman that is paid almost directly by like the PGA Tour. That's who they cover.
Yeah.
So Trevor, I would say this to Trevor's face. It's like it's kind of an interesting choice. It's not like they took, like, I don't know who I guess would be a totally neutral party in just the world of golf. I guess Trevor might be about as close as you can get. But yeah, so I don't know how else you could.
It's just a general question. Who is the most neutral party in the world of golf as a person?
Fred Ridley, I don't like.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is the Masters pretty kind of just down the road? I don't really know. That's a great question. Like, that's what Trevor Immelman does. He covers the PGA Tour for the channel that has a broadcasting partnership and a lucrative.
He was in the Showdown, he was broadcasting like live guys playing in the Showdown though. Like, he was a part.
It might be Charles Barkley.
Yeah, but true. Like Trevor's like dipping his toe and all that stuff. Like that's kind of what I meant about like he is on the PGA Tour. He's like the voice of the PGA Tour at this point. But at the end of the day, he also is like taking opportunities to do like big events that have live players in them. Also, I don't know that he like officially sways one way or the other. I think that's just like wherever he's, of course you're going to be like the second chair of the Masters and
right.
shit.
He didn't
like,
do that just because he loves the tour so much. He did it because who wouldn't do that? That's obviously a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also he was doing it before all this shit, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Golf Channel. He's been doing the Golf Channel thing for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think I would hope, and I don't know that we'll ever be able to talk to him about it because I don't know if he'll be public about it, but like I would hope that he would be like, yeah, of course Bryson DeChambeau deserves more points. I mean, we're getting to that point anyway. They're fucking meeting all over the place. They're flying all over the place with people. Trump's talking to guys at UFCs. It's like it's gonna happen. You got to start giving these guys points. Got to start giving them points.
I agree.
The Golf of America. He's changing the name to the Golf of America.
Golf of America. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that.
Changing the Gulf of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. From
Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico, and then everyone's like, "Are you gonna change New Mexico too?" to New America. He's changing it, the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. We deserve it.
He's
Cool.
changing the name. He
It was
didn't
a
think it
funny
was
video.
We weren't getting proper. We weren't getting the proper credit for that golf. So it's going to be the Gulf
top
of America.
the list of things to solve. We got to get that Gulf of Mexico name right.
No, I think Trevor's great. The whole thing, you're right. It's interesting. It's a website that has all this power. I mean, top 50 in the official world golf rankings, top 60, top 75. Get into like majors, get into all kinds of different stuff, and it has a lot of impact on a lot of different things. And so that fact that that the rankings, like I just listed, I don't think anybody would just, from a fundamental standpoint that follows golf, would think that John Rahm, for example, is number 26 in the world. Then right away, you're kind of already realizing that those things aren't perfect. And so having somebody like Trevor, who's an awesome, incredibly reasonable, well-liked man in the world of golf at the helm coming up here in April, I think is undoubtedly a good thing. Got to talk quickly about these fires. These fires that are going on in LA are absolutely nuts. I just kind of went through just the Palisades Fire hashtag on Twitter because last night it really started to hit my radar. It crossed into the golf world in a very, amongst the situation, in a very funny way, where it was like Riviera all of a sudden popped up in the evacuation zone. There was some footage from like the first tee and that kind of patio at Riviera of the flames not very far off in the distance. And I was just kind of laughing at the whole golf world kind of being like, oh yeah, people's homes, they're losing their homes. People are dying. That's a bummer, but whatever. And they're like, but we can't lose this fucking golf course. If you come after our fucking golf course, this fire, we simply can't have that. But it's been horrible. It's just watching this stuff is almost, I can't believe this shit can happen in today's day and age. It's pure hellscape that people were driving through, sending a lot of this, the footage that, again, I was seeing last night, and then the weather forecast throughout the night last night, and the sun, as we're recording, kind of just came up over in LA. So there's going to be a lot of footage coming out from whatever did occur over the night and throughout this morning as we're recording. But the wind gusts were going to be like 80 to 100 miles an hour. So they have this gigantic fire that has engulfed thousands of homes, has burned down all kinds of businesses. I saw like libraries, theaters, all kinds of iconic restaurants already gone. And then as they're trying to fight this thing, they're basically in a hurricane. Like 80-mile-an-hour wind gust, that is a hurricane. You're in a damn hurricane at that point while you're trying to fight this fire. I think one stat that I saw said that the fire on Tuesday evening was spreading at a rate of like 2 to 3 football fields per minute is how fast the thing was spreading.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't know how you contain that. And as we're recording, just so folks know, it's like Wednesday morning here on the western side of the United States. So in 24 hours when the pod comes out, there'll be a lot more information out about it. And yeah, it just looks like one of the scariest, most horrible, crazy overall tragedies, like as it's playing out in real time, that I've seen in a while. The footage is nuts.
Yeah, it's not good. I saw the same stat. I think it was 5 football fields a minute when the wind was really blowing. Yeah, man, I don't really have much else to say on it other than like that's fucking horrific. Like that, I just feel like in California, it's every year now where there's just these huge fires and they take out so many businesses, so many houses, so many people get killed. It's none of it's good. None of it.
Bad, really bad, actually,
dude.
How do you get like an 80 to 100 mile an hour wind in California? Like, to me, I never even they don't get hurricane type winds out there. I mean, obviously they do.
I was stunned to hear that too. I think, people would probably answer like global warming or climate change or something of that nature. I don't know enough about it. Not a scientist. We're not lawyers. We're not scientists on this show. I couldn't fucking believe that when I saw that either. Been to California many times. I was at Riviera in this exact same spot just less than a year ago when I was at the Genesis and I was at the little Sunday Red launching event. And yeah, I don't think that area gets or is known for, like, we were there during the US Open, LACC. It's not like a crazy windy place. Florida, I understand, where Trent Daddy lives. Every time I've ever been down there, it's like a 30-mile-an-hour wind gust every day, all the time. LA, Southern California, it's beautiful, best weather, some of the best weather in the country is kind of what I've heard. But I think they've been going through a drought, and then the wind gusts and all that. It just sounds like the absolute perfect storm for this type of devastation to occur. And yeah, it's been hard for me not to look. I mean, I'm seeing all these people have abandoned their cars on the road because the traffic was so bad trying to evacuate that they now have bulldozers going through, moving the cars so that fire trucks can get through and so that other people that are actually in their cars can drive down the road. It's like apocalyptic footage. So again, I know this is a golf podcast, but like hard not to talk about when that's all I can see on my timeline right now.
We're LA guys. I know Frankie's an LA guy. We talked about that recently where it's like, we love LA. It's such a great place. And I know Frankie likes it. What do you like? What do you like about it?
Just like the glitz and the glamour.
You love the glitz and the glamour.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
It's a great, every time I'm in LA and the San Diego area, I'm just like, this is a great, people shit on everything. They certainly shit on LA, but like, it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and to have it just ravaged by an uncontrollable fire is supremely sad.
Yeah. Bad.
Hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom that this could occur. That, you know, I just don't. Just looking at it is nuts. So hard for us not to, you know, like I said, at least mention. And I know the Genesis is supposed to be in like less than a month, or right in exactly a month, where they're going to have a PGA Tour event. Supposed to have it at Riviera, which is an iconic course, which is right smack dab in the evacuation zone right now. So no idea how that is going to impact that. It's the last thing on anybody's mind right now. But yeah, as all the footage and sort of the reports roll out over the next 24 hours, just, yeah, everybody there, thoughts and prayers, losing your whole home and everything. I can't even fathom that, trying to rush out of town before a fire engulfs you. It's just scary. Very, very scary.
Yeah, Danny Rappaport, too, is like right in the mix of that, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hopefully everything's okay with him.
Yeah.
I think he was at TGL, but I hope everything's okay with, obviously with everything.
Front.
I know that's right where, pretty much right around where his family is, where he lives, big LA guy. So hopefully everything's safe. Hopefully everything made it out.
I sent a text to him. He hadn't, you know what's fucking crazy? They evacuated. The house is safe. Whole Palisades is burned. It's so sad. I'm in Florida for TGL.
Just text
Maybe
you back
I
right
just
now.
got Wi-Fi. How insane is that? I mean, I texted him this morning, but I think I just got like service just now because now Trevor-Immelman just texted me. All within what I honestly think my Wi-Fi or something just kicked on.
I mean, you've been crystal clear on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. I got 3 texts all in a row from like things I've been waiting on for a long time. And I literally looked down at my phone and I turned like Wi-Fi off and on, and then like I just got a bunch of just dings. So all right, Danny's doing well. They evacuated the house. Damn, that sucks though, man. Like,
sucks.
Wow, I can't even imagine. Oh my God.
And you know, living in the Midwest, wildfires in the Northeast, wildfires aren't really like a huge thing here. Ever since I moved out here, you know, in Arizona, wildfires are a damn real thing. Where my parents moved into Boulder are a very real thing. I think my parents have evacuated their house like at least 3 times since they moved there. And my dad's, you know, pretty paranoid fellow when it comes to that stuff, as he should be. So he's like built a bunch of fire lanes and stuff as best as he could around the house. So like this, it's funny how you move to different spots, like tornadoes. Me and Trent grew up with like tornado warning and sirens, as we've talked about. Tornadoes can just pop up out of nowhere and fuck your shit up. And then you move somewhere totally different region, like a totally different natural disaster, all of a sudden can be an occurrence. I'm in like Pinehurst, and they had just west of when I was there was the horrible hurricane that went through North Carolina. And then you go out west, and it's like Mother Nature's a bitch, man. You just cannot defeat Mother Nature. They've got wildfires attacking people. Somebody said that, and this could be just complete BS, but that this fire started from like a tiny fire somebody made in a backyard as like kind of like a barbecue type fire that just like catches 80-mile-an-hour winds, spreads, and the next thing you know, you just cannot possibly contain it. So yeah, absolutely horrible stuff to watch.
Being in Florida, I got to worry about those hurricanes coming out of the Gulf of America.
That's right.
It is the Gulf of America.
They come right out of there.
Is that change official, or is that going to be official? Do you know that?
That was a joke.
As a local down there,
you guys broke the news to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was part of one of his speeches yesterday. It was actually very funny the way he said it. He's like, they don't deserve it. They've been very bad letting people in our country. We're going to take that name. Yeah, no, it's bad because it's like, and brings me to, I was going to talk about like, you know, building like a house and how much goes into it. Like when you own a home, it's your whole entire life, it's everything. And then for it to just get taken away from something that you didn't even do wrong is like something I can't even wrap my head around. Like yesterday, I was getting the nursery ready, and it's like, it's so rewarding building something like that. It took us all day framing out the wall, painting it, putting multiple coats on, taking the lights out, putting new light fixtures up. It's a 15-hour day. Paint all over me, spackle, like everything. And it's just like, I built this wall. This is cool, you know?
Yeah.
And then like for something as simple as like a guy is making marshmallows in his backyard, 50 miles away, and it could take your house out. It's like you're just at work. You're like, that's gone now. That house that is gone. Everything.
For the cleaning, people leave an inflatable mattress against a heat vent.
Could have happened. Yep.
Can't
Could have
believe that.
happened.
I
I saw a lot of
honestly
people
cannot
being
believe
like, how could you leave your like baseboard heat on? It's like, it's 12 degrees in New York. Like you're supposed to like have your like house like relatively warm so that like your house doesn't freeze.
The pipes.
And your pipes don't freeze. So like we kept it at like 68 degrees or 65 degrees. Like that's like standard. I don't know if you could hear my father-in-law in the room next door doing some work in there, but he's definitely drilling and hitting and hammering and stuff.
That ain't going nowhere.
He thinks I'm a pussy because yesterday
You are
in the
a
room
pussy.
next to me.
Go ahead.
Yesterday,
truly is
like we
not
were working
probably
together.
wrong.
He's getting double knee replacement, so I had to do a lot of it. And I did great work yesterday. I really did. Driving nails through a wall with a nail gun,
Yay.
like the whole entire deal, like fucking spackling, caulking. I caulked my ass off yesterday. Caulking corners, man. Dude, I caulked my fucking ass off. But the one thing that I was like, hey, I'm gonna paint this. I was like, I'm gonna put up some tape, like some painter's tape, right? Because we're only painting one wall, like an accent wall, and he's like, we don't need no tape, no tape, right? I gotta find. He goes, I got a fine hand, like I can paint that, no problem. So then I tried to do that last night and with no tape, and it was a disaster. I want to give shout outs to all the painters out there that can paint with no tape. You need to have one hell of a surgical hand to go down those fucking edges and not hit that ball to the right. Like if you're painting like a corner and you don't want that freaking bristle to go over and just nick the other side, it is impossible. There were multiple times where I'm like, go, and then ooh, just like a flinch, and it's just green on the white wall, and you're like, mother. So what I'll be doing is I'm putting paint on the green part now, and I'm repainting the white for the. It's just, you know, he came to here today. Okay, yeah, you missed a couple spots. It's okay. It's just, you know, oh yeah. Looking at it, I'm like, look at this wall. Just missed a couple spots there, and we'll patch that up. We'll clean that up. And just a little touch up. Nothing to worry about.
Shout out to all the people who recommended YouTube chefs to me. I talked about that on the last show because I had said I'm looking for like my guy or gal who will just like hold my hand like a small child on how to make things. So people gave me a lot of recommendations. I've been checking those out. So thank you to those people. I made chicken enchiladas last night that were real good.
Oh,
real proud. I was really proud of myself. I'm rolling the enchiladas. I'm doing the whole thing. So it's cooking's fun. The cleanup sucked, asshole, but still fun to do and therapeutic.
Are you going to be doing any like meal prepping now that you're cooking? Are you going to be like getting some like containers, making a ton of like Sundays is a big meal prep day for people that cook. They'll make a ton of rice, like so much rice, and you throw them in like I saw Chef Donnie does this. He'll throw them in like 6 containers. Then you make a ton of sweet potatoes and you throw them in 6, and then you make steak and chicken and Brussels sprouts and you throw them, and then you throw them in your fridge. And every day it's like, whoa, like Hannah does that. We do that like on the weekend. And then like today I'll go down and I'll throw a little fucking balsamic in there. I'll shake it up. I have a grilled chicken, steak and rice, like a little bowl.
I would like to do it for lunches for sure. Like have my lunches set where I can just, cause I like making the dinner at night, like doing it in the moment is good. I like that.
Pee. Keep talking.
But I like the lunch thing where I can just have 6 lunches ready and I can boom, make them like when we're done doing the podcast. I'll do. I think I am going to attempt to do that. Also, you mentioned Brussels sprouts. This is the year of the Brussels sprout for me.
Oh, so good.
Dude,
cut the ends off, slice them in half. As a guy who's starting to cook, I need easy things like that where it's cut them, olive oil, season them, put them in the oven. Bang, you can do that. Crisp them up.
Ooh, Brussels sprouts. You do that.
You burn a couple of them, and it's like I think that's carcinogenous. I think it gives you cancer, but it's like it's good. It's real good.
Unfortunately, I've burnt a lot of the Brussels sprouts that I've made. I'm still perfecting the oven time. Is it 18 minutes? Is it 21 minutes? It's certainly not 25 minutes. I'll tell you that much. But you do all you got to do is season it or olive oil, a little garlic salt.
Salt goes a long way, man.
Salt goes a long way. A little bit of pepper, and you just put them in there, and you've got like a relatively healthy. You can snack on them. You can put them in a bowl you wanted to, you could just snack right on those things if they're crispy enough.
You know what a great snack that's not talked about enough is? And I think I could eat, no joke, I think I could eat 5,000 of these edamame.
I knew you were going to say that. I've watched
Yeah.
I could eat five
so much.
I could eat 5,000 edamame in one sitting. I
They're
don't
so
know
good.
that there'd be enough for you. The only thing that would stop me is my fingers would start to get a little wet. And I've eaten with you before where they've gotten pruny
They'll prune up, yeah.
because you're just constantly dipping it in that wet just bowl. Like it's just a
I remember
moist bowl.
during the PGA Championship at Kiowa, you and I were there. We were staying in a house together. And I don't even know if it was a playoff game, but there was an Islanders game on.
Islanders Penguins.
Is it a playoff game?
It was a playoff game, yeah.
You were ripping
Yeah.
through edamame. I took videos and I took pictures and I showed them to you afterwards. You're just hammering through edamame. I've never seen a guy eat so much edamame. I think I had one or two of them, and I was like, I'm just gonna let this guy crush edamame because I know he's so nervous.
Speaking of man shit, though, I actually look at this. I actually took a time lapse of me framing and painting this wall.
Is this
Look how
the year that
aesthetically
you and
pleasing
I
this is.
become a food influencer and you become a DIY
Yeah,
influencer?
Trent
Is that
Look
started
at
what's
this,
gonna
posting
happen?
his meals, his meal
Look at
prep.
this, man.
You're a
I'm
man,
fucking-
dude.
I'm manning that shit
You got
up.
a
I
little
wore a
bit-
white hat.
Yeah.
I wore a white hat, and then I went to go into one of the corners, and I fell into the wall, and then I could hear the hat just like peel off the paint. I was a brand new tailor-made white hat. Why
It's
I'm
gonna
wearing
be-
all white painting is something that you just can't believe.
Mistakes are going to be made. I'm the same way with what I got going on, where I'm just like, I'm burning stuff. Everything's not going right. Like, you're not going to be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
the first time.
definitely a first time, like, about to be father, because like I'm making a lot of mistakes. Like I'm in this room and like I'm making mistakes,
Mhm.
and like, but now like when I made the mistake on the one wall, I didn't make the mistake on the other wall because I learned how to use the brush a little bit more. And it's like I just needed to like see that. Now forever I'll know. I now know how to spackle up old holes that had like screws in them, and I know how to do that easily. And I know that you need like my first side of the wall that I was caulking, I wasn't using like a wet thumb or like a wet rag. It was dry. And then Don's like, no, you gotta keep it wet. Like it'll seep into the holes there. So then the second side, I'm like, dude, I'm getting this. Like the wetness, nothing was cracking. I was sanding it down. I got the wrong sandpaper.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I forgot. I was in the middle of cooking last night, and I forgot something. I had to run back to the store. That's a
We made
mistake.
fajitas last night, me and Hannah, and we were done with the fajitas. We had steak, chicken, we had shrimp, we had all the stuff, right? Cheese. So at the very end, we're like, where are the peppers and the onions and everything? We were already done. We just forgot them. So then we switched to tacos. Just immediate just change of
Smart,
menu
yep.
item. Like they're now tacos. They're not fajitas, and they were enjoyable.
Nice little
but-
pivot.
yeah.
It's a good pivot.
Are we doing closest to the
two.
pin this year?
We're gonna
Okay.
do closest to.
Whoa.
We are going to declare Trent Ryan the 2023-2024 season champion. We started this game while Frankie was on his honeymoon in 2023. That game ran a year and a half. Trent with a dominant victory over the field. However, here on January 9th, 2025, when this show airs, it is currently tied 0-0-0.
Wow,
to
we're
zero.
starting. Oh, so you're a champion.
I'm a champion. Me and Scotty had very similar years. I ran away with that thing.
You are.
I don't
the
know-
Can we make a
closest to the
graphic for
pin
Trent? Can we make a
champion.
graphic to put out on social that like he was the closest to the pin champion 2024,
Oh yeah.
and then now it's like
Yep.
the new season is starting, season 2. Season 2 of closest to the
Mhm.
pin is electric. I
Mhm.
am so ready to not be
Mhm.
40 points behind Trent.
I would like to come up with some sort of. We can think about it later. Like, what does the winner win? I don't win anything. I get the pride of it that I dusted you guys for a full 365 days, but like, maybe we think of something where we get to win something.
This is similar to everyone that's been in a fantasy league their whole life, where like the first couple winners, like if you think back, like my fantasy league, we were 18 years old when we started it, and now we probably gave the winner $120, right? And like now 12 years later, the winners are getting like $5,000 a pop, where it's like you look at a decade into this thing, and it's like the biggest thing we got going in our friendship. But those first
Mhm.
couple winners were like, those were fake years. Like we're gonna look back at close to the pin.
They're gonna be getting a Chevy, an Equinox EV.
Yeah,
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 like
yeah,
I got
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. The winner's gonna be getting something insane.
You
We'll
guys are
send
just
you
looking at me
something,
and you're like, yeah, good job, you won. Like in that, you're
We'll send
like
you a
you're
coin
saying,
or something. Send you ball
yeah,
markers.
send me
up.
something.
Some commemorative bracelet.
Get you a pencil. What if we get you a pencil for your board there? You know,
I'll take a pencil and maybe I'll put something. I'd love to have something I could hang back here that's like closest to the
Yeah.
pin.
it's not a bad idea.
That's
we
what
get
we'll do.
that.
Alex, can we
get
get
that
on
graphic
that?
Yeah,
Can we
I'll
get
work on
to
something
hang?
for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Get
Yeah,
Trent
neat.
to
that
put
graphic
something on.
framed. Put that behind you. So every podcast we do, you know, you were the 2024
No, it's got to be a close to
champion.
the pin logo. It's got to be a closest to the pin, like cup,
Like a pin flag?
something
It's
with
not
a
a bad
pin,
idea.
close to the pin. It's got to be the trophy. Like when someone sees it hanging out behind you, they know that you won.
Make a
Okay. It's
gotta be
trophy and
big.
put,
It's a-
put Trent's name under there with spaces
No,
for
something that can go on a wall, something that can get pinned on a wall.
All right. We're going to do it.
plaque.
We're gonna figure out something. A plaque,
Like a
maybe
banner like
plaque.
that when the Blues won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but
Something.
something noticeable because, like, if it's too far back, like you could still know it's too close to the pin. Maybe it's a big pin, like a light, like a 25 times larger pin. You know, like maybe someone's made like an outrageously large pin,
Okay.
and then you like hang it on the wall so everyone sees the pin. Like, oh, he won closest to the pin,
I like it.
or like actual or like a mini pin, like a flag. You know, a flag.
That's what I
golf flag.
like with like Trent's face, and then you're actually closest to the pin. Like your face is on the pin.
Yeah,
We're on the right track here.
Workshopping it. All right.
customized mini pin. All right.
I'll
Season
put a
2.
shelf up and I'll put it up there
Yeah.
or over there.
Over there.
Season 2 of Closest to the Pin. We've got 4 per usual. It is currently tied at 0. All 4 of us are in the game, and we're going to start with the old Cotton Bowl, which is going to be Friday night. We've got OSU, Texas. There's been a lot of chatter throughout the. Oh, there's Gravy. No update to give Gravy because it's over.
No updates.
So there's been a lot of chatter about the playoffs thus far, games being duds, and then the ASU Texas game being like one of the greatest games of all time, and the Oregon game being a dud. So I'm simply going to go guess what the winning margin will be at the Cotton Bowl. You don't have to pick the winner. You don't have to pick the team at all. Just what will the winning margin be in the Cotton Bowl, which I believe is the Friday night game.
Yeah, it is. That's actually a great game. I guess we'll see because a bunch of them have been duds. A lot of
What
duds.
the margin will be.
What the winning
Yep.
margin will be.
All right.
Oh, man.
Winning margin, Cotton Bowl, Riggs 8, Trent 10, Alex 7, Frankie 3.
I'm rooting for a blowout.
Okay, we got a bunch of different ones. Nobody squashed anyone else.
Not
It's
yet.
nice. Not yet. I know. We got 3 more to go. All right. Second question. Hideki Matsuyama won last week with a 35 under par at the Century at Kapalua. He is the odds-on favorite to win this week at the Sony Open. He won there, I believe, in 2022. He's currently 5th in the Trevor-Immelman official World Golf rankings. He is 9-1 to win the event on the DraftKings Sportsbook. What will Hideki's finishing position be this week at the Sony Open? Hideki, finishing position.
Hold me now. Well, I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking.
All right. Hideki finishing position, Trent 4th, Riggs 1st, Frankie 6th, Alex 5th.
6 feet from the end. That's why I said it.
Yep.
Oh, I
Mhm.
Got you now.
Checks
Just,
out.
You say the number 6. That's all. I think I'm gonna sing that for Pup Punk this year.
you have to.
Yeah.
When's the next show? You guys got any shows planned?
down. I think I'm falling, holding on to all. I fucking.
I mean, you want to
That's
talk about a
that's
crowd
gonna
favorite?
slap.
Like the crowd will go crazy.
She's found the road to somewhere.
You guys have any
Um,
dates planned?
Dude, I think we might be playing. Well, it's very preliminary, but I think we might be playing this show in Boston in March. It's like at a sick venue, basically like inside the TD Garden. It's like right outside the TD Garden.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it's so early, but we just got texted about it yesterday. So
All right.
Third one. This is a little bit different. This is a binary question, so it's a big opportunity for someone to get 2 points to kick off the 2025 season 2 of Closest to the Pin.
okay,
It's pretty much a pick'em at the Sony Open for one of our favorite wagers, which is will there be an ace or will there not be an ace? Yes
Oh,
is -120. No is -110 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. This is the first full field event of the year, so there's more opportunities than there usually or than there were last week. So, will there be an ace at the Sony Open? Yes or no? Basically, just trying to guess which one you guys are going to guess.
All right, we got Trent, yes. Frankie, no. Alex, yes. Riggs, yes.
That's good. We needed one no. We needed one no.
That's
That was good.
Yeah, we can't all get 2 or 0.
Come on now.
That's incredible. All right, last one. As everybody knows, the new QI35 from TaylorMade Golf is now available. It's awesome. We've all been posting about them. We've all got our fitted version now. We're going to go to the Kingdom here in a few weeks and get fully fitted, but we've kind of got the current version of the QI10 in our QI35. So we've got our own model. They're awesome. I'm going to go out this weekend or in the next couple days, and I'm going to do basically a daily 9, taking 9 swings with the QI35. I'm going to have my Rapsodo MLM2 Pro. What is the highest ball speed I'm going to be able to get with my QI35? I'm not a notoriously long hitter. The tour average in ball speed, PGA Tour average with the driver, is 171 miles an hour. I want to say I typically, if I'm in like the 150, low 150s, maybe mid 150s, if I like really had to guess, but if I'm going after it just for a video, maybe I get a little bit more, maybe not. I'm really not sure. But what is the highest mile per hour ball speed that I'm going to be able to get in 9 attempts? See what you guys think about me here and my strength. You know?
Oh, shit. I forgot. Oh, so did Briggs, too.
Damn it. Did I actually? Fucking idiot.
I think we... Oh, no, wait, you didn't. I must have hovered over it. I forgot.
Okay, good.
All right. We got Frankie 159, Riggs 158, Alex 156, Trent 157.
Boom.
Boom.
Ooh,
not cracking
around.
around.
Okay, we're all around it. Let's get to 160. Come on, even though I wouldn't win. All right, everyone. Most New Year's resolutions, they actually start in the kitchen when your resolution is to cook healthier, save money, or just stop eating microwavable burritos. The our great friends at Hexclad have you covered. You probably heard of how Hexclad's got completely revolutionized pots and pans by combining the performance of stainless steel with the convenience and easy cleanup of non-stick. But their innovation does not stop there. Their Japanese Damascus steel knives are as sharp as they are tough, perfect for leveling up your meal prep. Their sleek pepper mill lets you season like a pro with precision and style. This is right up your alley, Mr. Chef Trent.
So I have been in communication with our wonderful podcast producer, Alex Bush. He has sent me the tracking number. He has sent me the Hexclad stuff. It is going to arrive in the next couple of days. I am very excited, as I have talked about my cooking journey, but I need the right pots. I need the right pans. I just need to have the things where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to fully attack this new hobby, this resolution of mine. And Hexclad is going to be a big part of that. I look forward to in future episodes talking about my experience with them. But as of right now, they are on the way, and I could not be more excited for my Hexclad.
Hexclad products also come with a lifetime warranty. They're literally the last time you'll ever have to buy these kitchen essentials. New year, new you, new cookware. For a limited time only, our listeners get 10% off your order with our exclusive link. You head to hexclad.com/foreplay. Support our show. Check them out at hexclad.com/foreplay. Make sure to let them know we sent you. Bon appetit. Let's eat with Hexclad's revolutionary cookware. That is hexclad.com/foreplay. NFL playoffs. We are talking about NFL playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is the key to winning in the NFL playoffs. That's a fact. And the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something quite simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and just make your pick. It is that simple. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That is new customers, $5 bet, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You got to have some skin in the game this weekend, Trent.
It's a huge weekend coming up. Huge weekend for football. I've been on the Vikings a lot of this year, which has really paid off. I've just sort of put all my apples into Sam Darnold's basket, and it's worked out well so far. Not last week against Detroit, but you can just find these teams where it's like, oh, I want to have a little skin in this game, makes it more interesting. Maybe your favorite team isn't in the playoffs, so they're not playing this upcoming weekend. Get involved. Use the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's so fun. Get in on it with a couple of buddies. There's just nothing like it. DraftKings is the best.
Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code FORE, that's F-O-R-E, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. That is the code FORE, F-O-R-E, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
I think we'd be crazy not to now, if we're talking about swing speed and ball speed and your driver in particular, how you're feeling after basically going viral for the slow motion video. I mean, it'd be insane if we didn't touch on this. Trevor-Immelman commented on it. Colt Knost commented on it. Vast majority of professional athletes all weighing in on this. I think we need to hear from you. Just like what'd you see there?
At this point, I'd be honest with you, it feels very like beating a dead horse. It's like I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen people have said all of this stuff about my golf swing forever. So it almost, I'm just pretty numb to it at this point.
Yeah.
So that's the honest takeaway is like, it'd be one thing if it was like the first time I ever posted my swing on the internet and you think you have kind of a decent swing. And then you looked at all that stuff and you were like, oh shit, this kind of sucks. Like the first time you get introduced to Barstool, but it's like, I've seen that shit for 6 straight years or whatever the hell it is. So I don't know. I don't really notice it that much, to be totally honest with you.
Slow-mo doesn't help any of us. Certainly doesn't help Riggs. But yeah.
No, you can kind of, that's a good point. You can kind of mask some stuff in real speed of just like, oh, okay, kind of got through it, like a little hitchy, fine. The slow-mo is not very friendly to it at all.
It's almost tough.
Especially
that
front side angle of you was just the legs wide open. It was like, this is, I mean, what you're saying is true where it's like, we play a lot of golf with you. We've seen it all, but I don't normally see that angle in slow motion. So that actually was new.
Yeah, it was a new one for me too. I don't know that I've ever seen that one either. That like it makes you be like, what the fuck is that? It doesn't feel like I'm doing that. It feels like you're just swinging the club. So that makes me want to get like New Year's resolution. People want to get in the gym. It's like I got to get to the range. You can't swing like that. Nobody can.
We didn't do New Year's resolutions
and look better than that. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't do New Year's resolutions, but like, there's gotta be, I mean, this isn't going to be like a Dr. Brett McCabe scenario, like episode for Riggs, but like, I think over the last couple of months of content, I mean, you haven't really hit the driver well. That's got to be driving you fucking insane, right? Because I'm sure you, like, on your own when you're playing with your buddies, you hit way better. There's something on camera. I would say it's been
definitely
drastically, outrageously bad to how you typically play. Like you can't
totally.
There's no way of denying it. So is there are you working on anything to stop that from happening in the future? Like, you're a better golfer than hitting it out of bounds every single time you make contact with a golf ball. Like that's not you. So like, is that something that you're working on? I saw you like posting videos yesterday that looks a lot better. I think it'd be nice to to hear people like, what's your journey? What's your goal?
I think a big part of it is, so New Year's resolution is a huge part of it for me is the golf swing. And I think what I'm to be totally honest, what I'm learning is that like more of it has to do with everything that I'm doing to put you in a right mindset and physical set to succeed, right? It's like if you treat yourself like shit in certain ways, whether it's like eating, drinking, not sleeping consistently, whatever, and then you show up and it's like you lose the physical ability to do something, well, that's fucking mental, like you're saying. Like it's like with the Dr. Brett McCabe stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to do with my swing to fix it. But like you're saying, like I go back to the round that Trent and I played at Pebble Beach less than a year ago, where it's like, clearly I'm capable of driving the ball very well. I've done it before, but I have not been able to do it on camera. So there's something there. So it's a very weird thing to say because it truly feels like I've put the time in at times over the last year. Like I can go to the range and hit the ball over and over again pretty goddamn well. And then you show up, as soon as you pull the club back, it feels literally like you just lose the ability to hold on to anything or even stand up. And next thing you know, you look up and the ball's like a slow duck hook out of play, or it's a giant block. And then from there, like you can hear people whispering, you hear people laughing, you're laughing in your own head, and now you're fucked for the rest of the round. It's like you have to hit driver, and it's got the most consequences. So in terms of that, I'm definitely going to work drastically on my golf swing, and I think somehow tying that to the mental aspect of it is absolutely my goal. And I think a lot of that is like putting yourself in, like doing stuff to realize that it's not just like being mentally tough. You don't just show up, I'm going to be mentally tough today, and then I'm just going to swing. There's a lot more that goes into it that I need to learn, focus on, and be able to execute in real time. Like I said that to Scotty Scheffler in one of the videos that we were filming. I don't know if you guys remember that. This video is going to come out in a couple of weeks, where we were talking about that, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know." He just like kind of like he didn't want to talk about it because he's like, "Oh shit, that's not. You don't want any of that." But yeah, it's a very like the last hater match was a great example of that, where it was like the weekend before I had buddies in Pinehurst, and I shot my low round of the year, and then 4 days later on Wednesday, like I literally couldn't even hit a driver. Like I couldn't hit a 40-yard slice and just get it in play on the right side if I wanted to. I couldn't even hit it in the air. And it's just like, I don't know. That's just purely mental. Like that's purely mental.
There is
Has
something
to
up because it is, and there's a lot of talk online, as I'm sure we've all seen, where it's like, oh, of course this guy is saying, you know, when I'm not on camera, I play way better. But we live in a world where I play with Riggs on camera, and I have played with him off camera. And it's hard to convey to people that it does seem to be the case. Like the on-camera stuff, it's an issue. Like when we are not on camera, you play better golf. Again, people are going to be listening to this now, and they're going to be like, of course they're fucking saying that. But I think in this case, it's true. Like it's hard to get that through to people because you're telling them, no, it's better when there's nobody can see it. And I understand how frustrating that is for them and for Riggs, but it's like, yeah, if you get that figured out and you can actually show people on camera the way that you play when you're off, you might need to get hypnotized. We might need to like take you to Costa Rica. You drink some ayahuasca. I don't know what we got to do, but it's like, I understand both sides of it where people are upset because, you know, your handicap says one thing and then your driver says another thing on camera, where it's like, I don't know what to tell these people because there's no evidence on either side.
The only thing I will say, it's been like several years, but there is a video of me shooting like a 74 when we went to Forest Dunes, where it's like, so that was several years ago. So I get that people are like, that's not the same thing. But in terms of the handicap stuff too, it really doesn't bother me either, because I mean, there was a moment maybe a month or so ago where like I checked in on my phone in the 17th fairway. We were playing out here in Arizona, and I was like 3 over for the day. And I'm looking at my phone, and it was some swing had gone out there. And I'm looking at like 3 or 4 comments in a row that are like, this guy's a single digit handicap. I'm Tiger fucking Woods. And there I'm like, there's no opinion. I just know what the facts are. I think I ended up shooting like 4 or 5 over, a couple of bogeys late. I'm like, I know I'm not lying. I just know what the facts are. So
but I guess you can, for me, you could probably, you can understand what they're saying. Because totally. The on-camera stuff is brutal.
Like totally. But
yeah, dude, it's not even just brutal. It's like, it's something for like a golfer watching it. Like if you like, we're not even advancing the ball off the tee. It's not even like close. So it's like, but then when we play, like he's saying, with just your buddies in Scottsdale, you'll shoot a 76, no problem. That's the part that's got to be somehow, some way. It can't get conveyed, I guess. It's just
that's what
we're gonna have to figure something out. There is no way of conveying it because it's not like you just shoot like an 80, 85, and it's like, well, his handicap's kind of weird. Like if we're just like if we can't hit the ball forward, of course people are gonna be like, this guy's just lying to our face. Where it's like, well, no, this is obviously some mental insane block.
I agree with that. I agree with some of the results are so shocking, but there's also people just ignore some of the good stuff. It's like I beat one guy 8-6 in a video that went out like a couple of months ago. I beat another guy who's like a 2 or 3 handicap where totally I had a couple holes that were X's. I also had a stretch in the middle of like 7 or 8 hole stretch where I was 1 under par on my own ball in like a heated match on camera. So it's like people do just ignore. And
100%.
in those videos, like, don't get me wrong, I'm doing my version of the game where it's like outrageous up and downs from bunkers and shit. But like, that's my game. So that's kind of how I play. But I don't disagree with the fact that if I were some of these people and I only saw certain examples, I'd be like, there's 0% chance, because especially the tougher, like when it's windier and tighter and I start off with a couple of those poor swings, I don't break 100 because I'm just hitting it out of play on every single tee. So I understand that. But people don't understand the handicaps. It's like they only take your top 8 of your last 20 scores. So if I shot 177, it wouldn't affect my handicap in any way. And it's like if you go out there one day and play
now
decently.
you're getting too technical about that. It's like I think people looking at a 4 or 5 handicap would be like, they're incapable of shooting 110 in windy conditions. Like it's just not even part of their game, but they're not realizing that there is something so drastically wrong with you playing on camera that all those numbers are so inflated that you can't even put them as part of the argument. Like it's not realistic. It's not real. Like those swings are there's something that's going on camera that you can't even put into like the best 8 out of top 10. Like they're so much different than who you actually are, that it's hard for us to even like describe it. You can't even, it's so much different. Like Stream Song, bro, you would never, ever in a million years off camera shoot what you shot like 112. That's impossible. That's like impossible to do that.
I know.
You could putt that ball in the hole before 112 strokes as a 4 handicap. There's something wrong there. There was something wrong that day. Like it's not, I don't know how to explain it. And it's hard for us to just ignore. Like we obviously see all of it, and like we have to talk about it. It's like the number one thing that we see. It's like, how is this guy saying that this is his handicap? And we're like, we don't know how to explain this to you. It's just he plugs the numbers into his system, and this is what it gives him. These are facts. I don't know what else to say. It's like,
I don't say I'm any.
We're not lying.
Like
for what reason? We're not lying. We're not all part of some like weird ruse to like get everybody. It's like,
right. What would the beginning be? There's no get.
We don't
there.
like meet up at Chipotle and we're like, we're going to say it's a 4.5 this week. You know, fuck them. We gain nothing from it.
It's actually worse.
It's a very like you feel insanely helpless type feeling when you go, like I'll hit balls. I'll do 2 or 3 range sessions before we go on one of these trips and get to a point where I'm like, I can just hit a 260-yard cut down the middle or in play on every hole. I'll be fine. And then the first hole, I hit the most shocking ball flight you've ever seen. And then mentally, it's just over. It's like every time I stand on a tee, it's just a complete mental meltdown. It's very hard to explain. Like, I
personally don't know why you don't just rip your fucking driving iron and like 3-wood off the tee. Fuck them. Who gives a fuck if you're hitting bad drives? Let's just put up a good score in front of people one time. Like there's fucking just, shut them up. Like just, I've seen you hit the driving iron right down the middle. Like if you hit that thing 230, 235 right down the middle, you're gonna score. Yeah. I mean, it's not like we're playing from 7,000 yards.
No, there are plenty of rounds where I also, it's like, I'm not, I don't know. It's like, I also want to believe that I can stand up there with a driver and hit it. Like I know, cause I know I do it all the time,
bro. We all do. Like, we're on our hands and knees praying. We're like, fuck. But like, I could see you just like not hit. Like, I mean, I played against John Gruden and I hit a driver once because I was like, it's a little tight. I just hit 5-wood. And it's like, no one's saying anything about that. It's like, hey, I striped. Actually, the video went kind of viral, me striping the ball down the middle. It's like, you don't have to hit driver. It doesn't even matter. Like I don't think anyone will be like, all right, he shot a 77, but he didn't hit driver. It's like, no, he fucking shot a 77. You go out there and not hit you go out there and hit a 77 without hitting driver all day. Your irons are sick and your short game's great.
My best round at Mace Country Club, I use 3-wood off the tee all day.
I know what he's saying, though. It's like, of course, you're not just going to lose. He doesn't want to lose to the driver. Like, you're not going to lose. Like, you're not going to be.
That's kind of what it is. And it's not. It's hard for me too because it's not like up until that club is pretty much at the top. I don't think there's like I'm standing on the first tee of every video we film, being like, of course, like I just was on the range and I hit 15 drivers in a row. So it's not like I don't get that. And then you look up and you're like, what the fuck was that? And I mean, Kiz said it last year at the Masters. He's like, I can go hit 100 straight drivers on the range, go up to the first tee, and then block one into the bunker, and like you're just fucked for the rest of the round. So yeah, obviously it's mental. It fucking sucks. It's just the worst. Like when you're out there, there's no hiding. There's no team. Like if you're playing hockey and you just don't have it that day, you can rely on the team. Whatever. When you're out, it's like
bad.
Dude. I have to tee off 18 times. There's like nowhere to go. Fuck, it's
maybe here's what we do. Riggs, sucks. Plug your ears. We do a candid camera round for Riggs where we don't tell him. We find out when he's going to be playing, and we just sneak around and we film the whole round.
Updates on each hole. Yeah,
it's not a bad idea. No, it's not a bad idea. I'm aware of it. It very much sucks. I think the more aware of it you are, the harder it gets for sure. It's like you're standing there thinking like, here it is. This is the moment. And unfortunately, it's the club with the biggest consequences. Like if it's the putter to like, you could kind of even from 8 feet, I think lag it up to tap in, and you're like not
Oh,
really
for
losing
sure,
any
dude.
strokes.
I mean,
it's like, God,
dude, I
it
had
just
the
costs you
chipping
the
yips
most
for like
strokes
5
ever.
years. I had the chipping yips for 5 years, and it was like the joke of the podcast. And we were able to make huge jokes, but I was able to like enjoy my rounds and like relatively score okay. Like, yeah, I would turn birdie and par opportunities into bogeys and doubles, but like I'd walk away with a high 80 or low 90 or whatever it was, and people just assumed that was my game. I had no short game, and it was more realistic for people to understand that like, oh, it's hard to kind of like nip one up there. Like he'll never get the wedges. Like it's a hard thing to learn. The driver, and we've always said this, if you can't hit the driver, your round is done.
You're
It's
not even
over.
playing
Like,
the sport.
especially if you're not resorting to hitting other clubs, I guess is the other point, where it's like if you're going to continue to keep hitting the same thing over and over again, of course you're going to keep hitting bad shots.
And what I would say to this, like, it's a very specific circumstance for us, but I think being open about it is better than not talking about it. Like, and that sounds weird, but like you just being, and I know you've talked about it and we talk about it in videos, but just being like, I fucking suck with the driver. Like that's going to enamor you to like, people are like, yeah, being the driver is hard to hit. Golf's hard to do. Like, I don't know. I think like Frankie said,
and you're
with his
working
chipping
on it.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Sorry. No, I cut off there. I thought you stopped.
No, but like what you were saying with the chipping thing, where like that became your thing. They're screaming Frankie butter knives at you at Bethpage Black. Like, I think that is just part of it. Like, yeah, the driver sucks. Like, the swing is it's not what I want it to be, or like, I don't know. I think even just talking about it on this podcast is a good idea, because it's like then it becomes a thing where people maybe they want to help you, or they're just like, yeah, man, he's talked about it, and it's like it's fucking hard.
Yeah, and it's not only just hard. It'd be one thing if I haven't hit a good driver in like a year and a half ever, but it's like what really makes it frustrating is that it almost feels like I don't know what the solution is, because I could put in 15 hours on the range and it doesn't appear to have any effect on the outcome when I step on a tee. That's what's insane to me. It's insane about the brain. It's insane to make any fucking sense. It's very, and it's like I watch so much golf. I understand golf like strategy. It's like, oh, you just got to find something. Even if you hit something 230 yards in the right rough, that's fine. You're in the hole. And yet then you stand up there and you're just like, I got nothing. I don't know where this is going. Not only like, I don't know. It's absolutely something I'm working on and I'm trying to work on. I'm fucking as aware of it as anybody on earth. Part of me thinks like you need to try to, like when Vijay Singh won all those FedEx Cup events and he was like, I'm the best putter in the world. And they were just like, no, you're not. Stats are that you're like actually below average putter for how good you are at golf. He's like, no, I'm the best putter in the world. It's like part of me is like, mentally, do I have to just convince myself I'm a good driver? Do you have to? I don't know. I don't know what that answer is. It might be a Brett McCabe
Really
situation, but it's fucking, it's very weird. It's a very bizarre thing to be up there. And I don't know. When I stand over it, it's very scary.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And do we have a video coming out in the coming, I guess like next week or 2 weeks, a huge video coming out that's going to be exactly what we're describing, where it's going to be stripe show on the range, like so much so that like people that are fitting you are like, yep, like this is perfect. And then it's like next swing nightmare. And it's like, there's no explanation for that, where it's like, of course, like like you played college hockey, you're an athlete, you've like played at like a pretty high level, you played at fucking Harvard. Like, of course you can just like take one swing and then like put a swing together 13 seconds later, but something happens in there that clearly is just like otherworldly or like extraterrestrial or something. Like there is no other example. Like I don't know.
And look at the Joel Damon video we just put out, like that first tee, it was just a shockingly horrific tee shot. There were a couple more. And then on 17 and 18 under the biggest pressure, like I absolutely striped drives down the middle. So it's like, that part's almost more infuriating, where it's like, I just don't, at the fact that when you can do it and then you don't, I mean, that's sort of golf in a nutshell, but this isn't a crazy extreme example. And I very much am aware that like the discrepancy between my good golf and my bad might be the highest of any player on earth. Like I think like, it's fucking wild.
It's good. It's just good to talk about. It's like we're play golf every day. We throw it in people's face. This is our job. We obviously love it. You obviously have an affinity. Is that the word for wanting to become better at the game of golf? Is that the word I'm looking for? An affinity for wanting to keep like improving your game every day. You're out there daily 9 hitting the range. You're posting good videos. So of course like when we have such a large scale or a large example pool of bad swings on video, of course people are going to be like, well, this guy is just like lying to us, or like it's gone on for so long at this point that like we have to, I think like hitting it head on is going to help you. Like instead of throwing it into the dark and like being like, no, actually I am good, you guys are wrong. Like I can do this when I play with like my friends, which we understand. Like we have to understand like the world that like we like basically work for and like produce all this stuff, dude, like doesn't understand that. There's like, I don't know what you mean because I'm just watching this. And like there is examples 17 and 18 you're hitting it, but it's just like, and I didn't realize that with myself until I did it, where it's like the fixing Frankie stuff. Like I just kept making fun of myself until I was never going to get fixed. And I was like, at some point I have to just like admit that this is a legitimate issue that I'll never, ever get over. And I have to figure out something. And then, you know, I think people end up going on that journey with you as opposed to just like people started saying like, I can't wait for you to chip instead of saying, fuck you, you can't chip. It was like that. It was like a snap of the finger where it's like, oh, now I can't wait to see if he actually does it, as opposed to like, he'll never do it. There's that one change where it's like Dr. Brett McCabe says like, and I still don't think he ever said this quote to me. I think all of his teachings have given me this quote, but it's like, don't say watch out, say watch this. And fuck him. I don't think he's ever said that. I think that I conceptualized his story and his teachings and said that to myself, but that's really what the crux of what he says is. Don't be like, oh, like I'm a bad first tee guy on camera, watch this, which I don't think you do, but it might be in there somewhere.
No, yeah. I think at least the start of the antidote is what Frankie's saying, where you're open about it, you talk about it, and I don't know if you would admit to this or not, but maybe in the back of your head right now, you're thinking this driver swing is going to suck because everybody thinks I suck. And if they are flip side of that, where the antidote is like, oh, I'm bad at this, I need you guys to just sort of be on this journey with me. And then maybe the back of your head, they're like, all right, they're on my side with this, as opposed to the demons being, he's going to fuck this up.
And that happens from time to time with the Tiger video last year, where like Riggs like went up there to hit against Tiger Woods, and like they were doing a long drive contest. You could feel like the viewers were like, "Come on, Riggs, don't fucking duck hook this one. Like this is the one. Like hit a big shot." And then you did, where it's like you could sort of see that. And then the other videos where it's like we don't really build up to those moments because it feels like we shut it out, and we're like, "No, he actually is a 4 handicap." Like we're telling them like we know you don't. That's where it doesn't. That's where it comes off wrong. So I think this is like. You need more of that. Like, come on, Riggs, hit a fucking fairway. You know what I mean? Like that's the storyline for 2025. Get Riggs in the goddamn fairway. Like, come on.
I would love that. Because I feel it is like as you build to the first tee, it's also it's a fucking mix of all the worst shit. It's like the first tee for everyone is probably the most nervy part of the whole day.
Oh yeah.
And then it also happens to be the thing that's like my worst ability. I know everybody fucking talks about it. And I could feel it's almost like the White Walker like arrived. It's like on the first tee, I could feel the sense. I could feel everyone's like, oh, here's the moment. Can he do it? And then as I pull it back, it's total panic. And then it ends up horrific most of the time. And then, like I said, you're kind of just fucked for the rest of the day. But yeah, I would love that if the mindset changes. You should see, like I do it on the range where I try to simulate the whole situation. I step up. I envision we're at like the Creator Classic on the first tee in front of everyone. And I stripe one down the middle, and I'm like, God, I can't wait to show off in front of people. And then we go film a video, and I hit it out of bounds every hole. So it's like, fuck.
Right. Think about your perception on the first tee as opposed to mine. Like mine, I'm the first tee fairway guy. I hit it 195 yards, but it goes into the fairway. And that is in the back of my mind. People are like, I'm thinking, especially when we're on video, it's like, oh, people probably think I'm going to hit this, so I want to do it. And that, I think, is positive motivation as opposed to what you have in the back of your head where it's like, just fucking hold on so it's not a disaster, and then it is a disaster.
People enjoy our journeys.
Yeah,
they like to watch us get better. They love breaking 90. They love breaking 100 with Jerry, which is a new video that just came out. They love breaking 85, fixing Frankie. They love Riggs versus Riggs hater when you beat these guys and you play well. Just take them on a journey, man. Like you've had a, you've declined a little bit in your game on camera, not in real life, but like on camera, you've definitely your public handicap has gone up. Let's fucking bring it down. Let's be honest about it. Like, hey, I'm playing bad. Like, this is not the same Riggs that you saw 2 years ago. Like, something's happening. And this is it. Like, this is who I am now. And we're trying to get back. It's as simple as that. I think people think that there's this like facade that you're trying to hold on to, that like, you're still like, you're still proving people like, no, like you're wrong. Like that's not it. Like, and we don't see that when we're filming. Like it's just coming off that way. It's like, maybe it's just the way it's edited. It's like the ball goes out of bounds and then we hit and then we just like ignore it. Where it's like, at some point, it's like we're hitting this thing head on, man. We're talking about it. We're being fucking honest about it. People want to see this improvement. How amazing would it be if in 2026 you're like, this guy didn't miss a fairway for like 6 straight months? Like that'd be unbelievable.
No, I 100% agree with you. I don't want that to be the like. I don't know where that would come from. If that's like, oh, we're just like ignoring it. He's acting because it's like even when we were down at TaylorMade with like when I was in the cart with Morikawa, I talked about it with him. I'm like, I just have the yips with the driver. With Tiger, like I said, with Scotty, I said that. So it's like
I think
I'm not trying to like hide it. I'm like, hey, there's an issue going on here.
What he's referring to is like we don't know what to say. Right. Like if you hit a bad one, it's like fuck. Like
that's where like, but I think that's what kind of adds to the fucking like sticking a knife in it, and it's like awkward where it's like because and then that's where the whispers come in where it's like he just can't do like we're trying to make light of it, and then you're trying to make content out of it, and then you're obviously frustrated because it's like and it's almost like we're trying to hide it from everyone where it's like, you know what, dude, at some point we're gonna scream from the top of the mountain, I can't do it, and we're gonna fucking figure it out. Like at some point, and this is it. This is the mountaintop. We're just like we're hitting it head on. You've been working on it, and the next video that we do, there's gonna be more videos that come out that are gonna feel like a step back from this conversation. But like the next video that we film post this conversation will feel great. Like we're gonna have great vibes going into it. I want everyone to be good. I want everyone to play better. We got Beef coming. Beef is going to be coming all these things. He's going to get us in the right mindset, the right swing paths. I think it's going to be a great year for fore-play golf in terms of getting our shit dialed, winning matches against pros, like playing good golf. Like I don't want shit to end on the first tee and like fucking tee balls are going out of bounds and duck hook and shit. Like I want this fucking thing to really start to rev up. Get Alistair in the mix. Good golf. Come on.
Good golf, but also when those things happen, just being like, I'm trying. Like it instead of just like shutting it down and being like, all right, let's just everybody go. But when you hit a bad one, bro, I came into this with one of the first rounds on camera. I shot 144 at Bethpage Black, and I was just like, you can't let it denigrate what you're doing. You're just like, I'm trying to get better. And if people know that, they'll be on your side. You gotta embrace it. You just gotta be like, you hit a bad one, you're just like, yeah, man, I'm trying, and we're just gonna keep working on it. We can't just like shut it down. That's it.
I agree.
Session.
Really good. And I think that's that's my New Year's resolution 100% is by the end of 2025, I want to be known as like Riggs now, just like Frankie, you're a good chipper of the golf ball now. I think people very solid. Like in the Ryder Cup when we filmed that a year and a half ago, you were hitting big chips under pressure. I want by the end of 2025 for it to be known. That's my New Year's resolution. Like, Riggs has figured it out, and he's back to like very solid driver off the tee.
Done.
That's my goal.
Done.
Whatever that takes, like whatever that entails,
whatever it takes.
People
it's
on
not
the
like you haven't been trying. That's the fucking frustrating part, and I get it. It's like, of course you've been trying, but I think this is huge.
A bigger resolution for the whole group is if you hit a bad one, it's not the fucking end of the world. It might feel that way.
I know,
but
it is different though, Trent, because he came from a spot where it was like there was better golf being played. Like showing up to Bethpage and shooting 144, it was almost like assumed because like the joke was like Trent like sucks and he's going to go play the hardest golf course in the world. And he shot 144 and we were able to make like fun of it. And I think that Riggs has been in a tough spot for years. And we've talked about this where it's like, he's the guy that's like, was at the helm of like the guy that knew more about golf or cared more about golf. And he went out there and played and you guys started this brand. It's like, of course, like hitting bad shots is going to hurt his like, whether it be ego or whatever, or like your mental is a little bit more like it's harder for you. Like when you're playing good golf and you're shooting 74s on the weekends, like to go out there and shoot 100 is going to weigh on you way more than like assuming you're going to shoot 100, shoot 144. That's just like the way the mental brain works. That's just the way the brain works. Like
I do think you got to let a little bit of that go though.
Definitely.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
When the game declines, you can't keep saying like, no, I'm the 74 guy. It's like, no, I'm the fucking 90 guy now. And it's like, let's work on it.
Definitely. I know what you're saying, Trent, and I agree with that. Of like, I think I need to view those not as like a funeral for everyone when that happens, but more of like, hey, this is part of the process. That sucked. I'm aware that sucked. We're all aware that sucked. People can laugh and make fun of me. Let's try to continue to get better. But I still think the ultimate goal is like, I want to be able to step up on a tee on camera in big matches and videos that we film and hit good fucking drives. Like I just
Yeah.
want to be able to do that. I think
course
everybody
that's the
wants me
goal.
to be able to do that. So I think that is my goal. That's like absolutely my
Good.
goal for 2025.
Awesome.
What that entails, I imagine I'll get a million people that'll reach out to me right now. It might be mental. It's a
So
combination.
many.
I got to work on the mechanics, but that's absolutely the goal. And it sucks hitting drives out of play. Makes it really hard to score.
I think once you
Really
do it a couple times in big moments, it'll just start to compound. I mean, that's what happened with me with chipping, where it was like I did one, and I was like, all right, fuck, I could do it again, and then do it again, and do it again, and yeah, you'll get it back. I mean, it's not like you've never hit the driver well in any portion of your life. You've hit the driver well before. It's guys go from winning like I'm thinking like DJ LeMahieu in baseball, like went from like winning a batting title to like now he bats like 0.75 for the Yankees. Like him in his mind, he's like, of course I can do this, but like now I'm a below 100 hitter. It's like I just have to figure out how to get back. Where it's like guys have declines and increases all the time. People's handicaps go from 10 to 5 to 10 to 12 to 5 to 7. It is what it is. Like you're just in a rut right now. You're in a on camera rut.
And I do appreciate a lot of people. I got to shout out. Like I get a lot of DMs from guys. They're like, "Hey, dude, I've been exactly where you're at right now." They're like, "I have played good damn golf and then gotten the complete driver yips and then gotten it back. Here's what I want you to work on." Like I get that shit from a lot of people, which I very much appreciate. So it makes you feel like you're not alone. But yeah, that's definitely the goal. I appreciate the therapy session. I think it's a good way to start. I think we needed that. And
great way to start the year, man.
Yeah.
Like.
It's
Just good vibes this year. Like just things are starting to kind of, I don't know. We're doing a lot more collaborations. We got good vibes. But we also we want more like inner group like competition and good golf being played and good vibes on the tees. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Got Beef coming in the mix. Francis has been traveling with us. We got Jerry. We got a lot of people, and it's just like I want everyone to feel like the good vibes. You don't want it to always be, playing matches and high pressure just to hit on camera. Like we shouldn't even feel like the cameras are there. And I feel like that's the problem on the first tee is like it's this fucking darkness in all of us. Where it's like let's just get through this. And like we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it, dude. We're gonna get through it.
Anybody else have any New Year's resolutions?
I mean, I'm going to try to break 85. That's obviously my big one. We talked a couple weeks ago. I want to get more distance off the tee. I want to go see Tillery. I haven't talked to him about that, but I want to go see him and like really work on that, work on my game. Just, yeah, for me, it's pretty obvious. So breaking 85 is certainly my number one, and cook more.
Tillery and Beef are going to get you to break 85 within like a month. I think just having someone there to like hit with us and all these videos, like if Beef's in any of them, like I think when you're actually around someone that knows how to play the game, aside from me, like it's been really, I'll never want to not be in any of them because like that's what like the journey has been. Like it's just two idiots trying to like accomplish someone's goal, and that's fun. Like I know if you went out there and played with Max Home every single day, you probably would already be in the 70s, but that's just not what the series is. And like, it's just kind of like, two idiots trying to do something. But I do think with all the talent around us now, and I think with like, just like the way that the group is kind of moving towards, I think a lot of people are going to start playing better golf. We're going to be playing more golf. I don't even know if I said I wanted to break par last year, and I came close at Rockville Links. I really thought like that was disheartening because it was like I didn't know how much better I could play. I didn't hit a shot, and like I shot a 75, and then I shot a 73 with my buddies on a par 71, and it's like I don't know how much better I could play there either. It's like I don't know. You got to gain 2 or 3 strokes. It's fucking crazy to me. Where like I hit 14 fairways and every single green.
Your putting is you would admit is your weakest point.
It is. And then some days it just feels like it comes so much more naturally to me. Like when I played Joel Damon, everything was fine in the cup. And it's like,
everything.
You know what the thing that I've realized is I don't finish my putts. And when I'm on a practice putting green, I really focus on just like putting through. And then when I'm on an actual green, I really stop after impact. And I don't realize how much that affects where I'm aiming. Like if I'm aiming right edge and then I stop mentally after impact, that's fucking up the whole thing of where I decided to putt that ball. It's not getting to where I initially thought. So I'm missing a lot of putts short. I know this. And it's not even like it's a mental lapse. I just like forget to do it. Like, it's not like a mental block, I guess. It's a mental lapse. Like I just like forget to putt that way. And I almost sometimes think like it's too aggressive to putt that way. I'm like, who do I think I am coming through a putter like this? Like that's insane. You're overdoing it. Like, that's not how people putt. And then I'll do it like the Joel Damon one. I just did it and it went in. And then I did it again and went in. And I'm like, holy fuck, if I just putt this way, will they just start going in? Even if I miss a couple that way, I'm missing them anyway. I might as well try this. So that's like my new resolution, is to just like trust my instincts and do things that feel like they might be ridiculous. But in reality, it's probably the right way to do it, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So putting for sure.
You have a nice stroke.
It's like if you had,
you know?
it's like Riggs, if you had a swing thought and you're like, obviously I can't do that because it probably looks and feels ridiculous. Like, that's how everyone like has a little block in their head where it's like, well, of course I can't swing that way. Like, maybe on the range I could do it, but on the first tee, no chance.
100%.
Like, I don't know why that creeps in. I do that on the putting green where I'm like, well, I can't putt across my body. Like, that's insane. I can't go
That's
from
exactly
toe
what
to toe.
creeps in.
Like,
That's exactly
who the fuck
what creeps in.
putts with an arc like that when they're trying to make a birdie? Like, I'm just going to putt the way I feel normal. It's like, you just got to fucking trust it. And then somehow that right way of doing it becomes the norm. Somehow, some way. I don't know how. At some point it does, I guess.
Dude, it is funny because I think all the time, like, all right, keep your hands and like feel like the club with the driver is like outside, like going back, because I yank everything inside, and then feel like your hands get really high in the top of your backswing, and then from there you've got this whole window in here to just drop it in and hit it. And I do that on the range because there's absolutely zero consequences, and it just feels so good. Then you get to the first tee, and I think there's no way I could do that. That's psychotic. Like,
No way.
I obviously can't try that. That would be lunacy. Like, we're on the first tee,
Be crazy.
and then obviously it goes downhill from there. So it's the same shit. It's just a different shot.
Practicing with a purpose, I think, is good too, where it's like actually trying to get better. Like, for me, rolling putts, and I said this last year, so it sucks that a year has gone by and I haven't gotten better, but it's like going out there and actually trying to get better at putting instead of just going to the practice putting green and trying to make putts. There's no reason to go out to a practice putting green and just try and roll the ball in the hole. You're not actually learning anything. You're just playing mini golf. Like, you're not getting any. I want to learn like what a 10-foot putt is. Like, I want to learn like how far I have to take the club back so I can actually start to like get better. Like, I did a fucking whole thing with Trevor Immelman. I didn't take a single thing away from it. I haven't practiced a single thing. He gave me great information and knowledge, and I became a better putter that day. And I just fucking resorted to my old bullshit. So
Practice.
That's it. I gotta go check.
Because that's hard to do.
I got a baby appointment to go to. 24 weeks we're at.
Let's
I gotta
go
see this baby. I gotta go see this damn baby.
Hell yeah. Exciting times.
Damn right
you got
you do.
paint all over you.
Damn right you do.
You're working hard on this thing.
Yep.
Couple babies coming. All right, gang. Well,
Oh yeah, Brendan
First show.
Jones is in like a week, man. Gosh.
coming fast.
Fast.
Coming really fast. All right. Well, Sony Open this weekend. Tiger Woods playing TGL next week. So once again, we'll have a lot to talk about. But thank you to everybody for listening. Thanks to all of our partners. Thanks to all of our boys behind the scenes in the gravy train editing this podcast. We'll be back next week. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.